This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hello, my lovely, beautiful people. I'm so glad you are here with us this here day. It is a good day. So glad that y'all are here with us to continue watching this trial. I'm thinking about the missing children's video. Um, Mods, that stuff that I said I was going to do, we will do it after the show. Sorry, side note. I wanted to get that missing children's video done this morning so that we could get Jack and Lily on there. It's good to see you, Miss Kimmy, Miss Mo, LJ, Joy, Kathleen, Cara, Abellis, Joy again. Good to see you, Indy. Glitter is forever. My lovely Abellis and Cara. I saw that Indie Girls got some stuff today and can only listen. It was good to have you here. I hope you have a good day, love. Good to see you, Carolina and Orange Rose, Fawny Donnie. I think I saw Southern Cats. Michael Green Chili Chicken. Good to see you. Genevieve, good to see you. Cindy from sunny South Florida. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. I'm so glad y'all are here. Okay, so Lisa Lynn, good to see you. Um, so today we are going to continue watching the defense question Jessica and kind of tear her testimony apart. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Had to clear my throat and I didn't want to blow your eardrums. Oh my goodness, Cindy, thank you so much coming out the gate. Dropping 5 on us. Gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that, Cindy. That was so very sweet of you. Those went to Tried and True, Bam Coon Rising, Jenda Hartwick, Rose RN, and Becky. If you were gifted from Cindy and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Cindy thank you. And I will grab the crazy train and pick y'all up on the way to a speculation station. Thank you so very much, Cindy. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Hey, Lorraine. If I didn't see you and I missed you, make sure you say something. There you are, because sometimes I don't see all of my comments. Southern Cat said, "How is everyone? I am good. I am good. I've had a very busy morning, but other than that, I am good. Good to see y'all. So glad y'all are here." Me. Okay, so we're gonna continue watching the defense question Jessica. It does seem like some of her story is falling apart. This is the story of Victoria Martin. She was found decapitated on her 10th birthday. We have talked about the mother's confession being false. Fabian Gonzalez was charged with reckless child endangerment, basically for letting Jessica into the house. Jessica is the one that was charged with murder. During this testimony, Jessica has already signed a plea agreement, so she really has no reason to lie other than like public appearance. Fabian is on trial here, and he does end up getting sentenced to 37.5 years for reckless child endangerment. I had someone say that his DNA, a lot of people think his DNA was found on her stomach, and no, the only DNA found on Victoria Martin's was unknown male DNA, and there was touch unknown male DNA on her neck, and then there was unknown male DNA under her fingernails. Just to kind of give you guys a recap. Cara says, "I'm sleepy. Husband came home from his trip last night at 2 a.m. and the puppy was going crazy for a good 2 hours. So I guess I got a good 2 hours of sleep." Girl, take you a nap. I do sometimes. Hey, Glitter. Did I get to see the autopsy? Oh, no. I know you sent it to me, though, and we need to look at it. We need to go over that. I'll have to grab that from you. I also am thinking about trying to like take pictures of the paper documents I have and try to upload them into the Patreon so that y'all have that. And I'll add that there, of course, as well. Hello, Angela Ballerina. Are you really a ballerina or is that just your last name? I love ballerinas. I watch ballerinas on YouTube. That's something I always wanted to do. Yeah, I'll grab those from you, Glitter, and see if maybe if we have time, we'll go over them today. If not, we'll definitely talk about them either tomorrow or the next day. I know we need to do another live on Lily and Jack. I'm waiting on some more information to come out. Abellis, we were talking last night, found something interesting. Um, in that story. And we also need to do a stream for Maddie, too. I'm trying to see if any more information is going to come out on that. So we will do that sometime this week. 32 pages. You're 45 and teaching nowadays. I would pay for you to teach me how to be a ballerina, but I'm 37, so I think my time has passed. Cara says, I love ballerinas too. I just have the grace of a bull in an antique shop. Most of the time, I do too. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Genevieve. Genevieve pointed out people are getting the information about DNA on her stomach from the interrogation video. Thank you. And we did discuss that for a minute yesterday. Michelle Martins said that there would be DNA from Fabian on her stomach, and then the police tell Fabian that his DNA was found on her stomach trying to get a confession from him, and we later find out that a lot of what Michelle Martins was not what said was not even true. You've been dancing for 45 years. That is amazing. That is amazing. I legitimately watch ballerinas on YouTube and like, a lot of them are in the Nutcracker. They were like they were showing their costumes for the Nutcracker and stuff, I guess around Christmas time. And those costumes are just so pretty. I like to watch them. Okay. Yeah. Abellis, that'll be good. Yeah, when we go back over that, yeah, I want to go back over it. I'm trying to wait for some more information and see if we get anything else on it. That is a long career. That's awesome. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pick up where we left off yesterday with Miss Jessica testifying. Ooh, it's raining. I love that sound. Okay, it is playing. There we go.
So we have this press conference, June the 29th.
That is so cool, Cindy.
And then in August, you give the first of several statements where the police officer, your attorney,
Oh, wow.
the district attorney, everyone's there, and you're telling them.
So he's talking about a press conference and everybody's there and she's telling them something. We'll pick right back up. Angela said, yeah, if I had dedicated that much time to my education in other places, I would be a doctor by now and making a lot of money. I think that you're doing great, honestly. I think the world needs more ballerinas, honestly. And I think people need to start going out and watching the ballet and I don't know. I don't know if I could do the opera because like I was listening to dispatch audio for hours last night and that just it gave me a horrific headache. So the high pitched singing, I don't know if I could do that, but I definitely think we need more ballerinas. Yep, we got the Bueller. Bueller, Bueller. Yes, I agree. They are definitely athletes. That is a hard thing to do. When I was a little girl, my brother dated a girl who was a ballerina, and she showed me her shoes. And I don't think they do this anymore, but I would always ask her how she stood on her toes, and she showed me her shoes, and it had like concrete. I think it was like concrete in it, and like it had formed around her toes. Like, so when she stood up, there was like a base for her to stand on. Again, I've heard they don't do the concrete thing anymore, but yeah, it's hard. Nutcracker was a huge part of our family's lives. Really? That's so cool, Cindy. She said her brother was a nutcracker. You watched Dancing with the Stars for 15 years. That's really interesting too. I like to watch that sometimes. You got back from your Mother's Day vacation, and I'm ready for true crime once more. That's awesome. How was your vacation, Carolina? Anders, I'm sure it's not little, but if it is, don't share with everybody. My students say my grandma can't do that. Oh, wow. Ballet is beautiful. You did when you were a teenager? That's cool. Bella's brother's first wife was ballerina in Vancouver. All right, so we're going to get back to this. He said that you told there was a press conference and you told the DA something. And everyone, okay, there was a press conference, the district attorney, and everyone's there, and you're telling them.
For the first time, you're telling these people that a man came in and said and did what you're saying today, right?
No, it wasn't the first time. When I got arrested, that's when I got to know that there was another male in there. And then my attorney knew, and then the DA also knew. That was the first time I actually made a confession of everything that happened that night.
So
Okay, so he's saying the first time you said anything about there being another male present and him coming in and doing anything, and this unknown male coming in and doing all these horrific things to this child, the first time you said it was during a press conference for the DA or whatever. But I do remember on the body cam footage, she said there was somebody else there named Apolte or whatever, or whatever she said means the crazy. And she did, to her credit. Phantom of the Opera. I haven't ever watched that. I should. Great. That's awesome. Yeah, we do need more members' lives.
the first time that you made a confession of everything that happened that night came after you read the DNA and after...
No. It wasn't after I read no DNA. I didn't even read the DNA. I knew that there was another male. I knew that by the DNA.
Okay. So the first time that you gave a confession to everything that happened, you knew that there was DNA, and you knew there was this press conference, and you knew that they had filed a complaint against an unknown man, and then you gave your full confession, as you said.
I'm not too sure about me giving a confession after the fact of the press conference. I believe I actually did that before.
Isn't it true that the press conference was June the 29th, and your first statement to the group was in August?
Could you give us a year, Mr. Ernst?
And this is all in 2018, 2 years after the event, right?
Yes.
So unlike the other statements that were made the night of the murder, you had 2 years to prepare your statement. True?
True.
So he's saying because she lawyered up, she basically had 2 years before she actually spoke and gave a statement. So she had 2 years to try to figure everything out, and by then she gets all the information, the autopsy and all that.
Now, let's talk about this man. You're saying the front door was unlocked, and Victoria went in her room. Did she change her clothes into her pink pajamas?
Yes, the door was actually cracked. It wasn't just unlocked. It was open, partially open.
All right, it was cracked open, right?
Mm-hmm. And yes, she was in her pajamas already before he came.
Before the man came. And you were watching TV, right?
Yes.
And this guy comes in, right?
Right.
And he's well dressed, and he has a Mexican accent, but he might not be a Mexican, right?
Right.
Were you ever asked to do a composite sketch to try to help catch this child killer?
No.
Hey, Amy.
Now, you testified that you thought he was Victoria's dad, right?
Well, I didn't say exactly that he was her dad. I said he could have been because he seemed familiar with the house.
Well, he didn't ask for her, he asked for Fabo.
Yeah, but Fabian lived there.
For how long, like a
I
week?
have no idea. All I know is the week that I was out of prison.
Didn't you know in those several days that you were there that Fabian, this was a new relationship for Fabian and for Michelle as well? You didn't know that they had just met a short while before you came?
I never know with Fabian in his relationships.
So you didn't know if they were together a year or a day?
No.
Why did you think he was Victoria's dad, of all people?
I didn't.
I don't believe that she didn't know how long they had been together. It seems weird to me that she wouldn't know that Fabian had just recently gotten a relationship with that girl, especially considering the baby mama being at the barbecue and giving him a black eye, like literally a couple of days beforehand. Hey, Marley Mom. And I saw Norma Guerrera and Amy came in. Good to see y'all. Marley said, I started ballet at 4, as always wanted to be a prima ballerina, but tore my cartilage in my knee as they dropped me while cheerleading in college. So then started teaching the little ones. Oh, that's so sweet. That's what Angela Ballerina was saying. Anders said, how many positions are there? Norma says, hello. Hello, Norma, my love. And Marley said, there's 5 positions. Angela says 6. All right.
I think he was her dad. I said, he seemed familiar. He
Hey,
could have
Mallory.
been her dad, for all I know.
He never said he was her dad, did he?
No,
He never called her by name.
no,
In fact, you didn't mention her name either.
no.
You just said me and the little girl.
I just said me and the girl, yes.
Now, who even knew Fabian was living there?
I did.
You did, but he didn't really want everybody to just know where he lived, did he?
He just didn't want my family knowing where he lived, but apparently he wanted people to know where he lived because he wanted to hooking that other guy over there. Or he wanted to let Martin go over there either.
So Martine went.
Hey, a name.
Now,
He gave Martin the
you
address.
had your cell phone then, didn't you?
Huh?
You had your cell phone.
Yes.
Okay, so now all of a sudden Fabian gave Martine the address so that he could come over and bump uglies with you on the couch. I don't know about that. That's weird to me.
Why didn't you call Fabian and say, hey, there's a guy here looking for you?
Because I figured he's going to be coming home anytime soon. And he just got a new phone, and I didn't really have Michelle's phone number programmed in my phone.
Did you ask Victoria if she was dressed?
No. She was already dressed before he came, because she came out wearing her pajamas, and she put her book on the shelf.
So she was wearing pajamas. So you know she was getting ready. What time was her bedtime? Do you remember? Wasn't it 8 o'clock on school nights?
I don't know. I don't know her bedtime.
Okay. But you didn't ask Victoria, somebody's coming into your bedroom.
No.
Did you ask Victoria to come out to see her dad?
Hey, Hannah, you're not late, sweetheart. You got here right when you were meant to be here. Norma, I hope everything is okay. If you ever need to talk, you can talk to everybody on Discord. You can also email me if you need to. I hope everything goes good. Thundercat, good to see you. I like your name, Thundercat. Isn't there a dude like He-Man? For some reason, your name's making me think of He-Man. Am I wrong in that? Maybe there's a cartoon character called Thundercat that looks like He-Man, or what's Thundercat with He-Man? I don't know. Sus. Thundercat says, I'm late, but I made it. I'm restarting the stream. Thanks for all your hard work. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah, it is hard to understand. I try not to highlight too much so we can read the captions. Old 80s cartoon. Okay, cool. Thank you.
It wasn't her dad.
Objection, Your Honor. Sustained. She said she got it for this. Rephrase the question.
Did you ask Victoria to come out to see this man?
No, I didn't.
Did you ask Victoria if this man was her dad?
No, because as soon as I said that girl, he nodded and went straight, like, right to her room.
Did that concern you a little, that this
No.
man went into a 10-year-old girl's bedroom?
No.
In fact, your testimony is that you went out on the balcony and smoked a cigarette for, what, 5 minutes or something?
Yes. But the balcony is a glass door. You could see right through it, and the door was open, so I was looking in. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
Did you hear any screams or struggle?
No.
So the man comes out and says, you and Fabian got a mess to clean up, right?
Right.
Well, what mess? There wasn't any blood or anything if you're choked to death. Right? There wasn't a mess, really.
No, a mess. How I took it was a body.
Okay,
That's a mess.
the body. Now,
No, you wouldn't. I mean, that's an odd statement to me right there because if that legitimately happened and a man said there is a mess to clean up, I would think like I mean, I wouldn't automatically think a body, but like I would be like, what the fuck are you talking about to begin with? But I would think mess would mean there's blood everywhere, there's a whole freaking crime scene, like not necessarily just a body. And yes, Victoria was suffocated. So this person, if it did happen, if we're gonna play her game that this is what happened, um, you, if we're gonna if we're gonna go with what she said happened, sorry, I had lost my train of thought. We know that Victoria was suffocated or strangled. So one of the two, I can't remember if it was suffocated or strangled. Um, so he could have put his hands over her mouth or like kept her from screaming. But again, if you're sitting and looking inside of a glass, if you're outside looking in the sliding glass door and can see everything, there's no way that that could have happened in that room and you not see anything and the door not be shut. Like if the door was open, you would have seen something, number one. And number two, you would have felt like banging on the floor. Like, you know, how when somebody stomps, there would have been commotion in there. And for the amount of time it takes to smoke a cigarette, I don't think that you could have done all of that. Tardy Gardy Hatchling. Good to see you and thank you for being here. I have watched that movie. That is a good movie. Anders says she's full of crap, both practically and literally. I agree. Oh, that's a good question, Bad Girl. Did they find Victoria's bodily functions in the house? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll have to look in the documents. Hey, Queen Olive, I appreciate you being here and dropping in. If y'all don't mind, please hit the thumbs up. She said, at a rest stop, saying a quick hello. I'm taking my husband to a doctor appointment in Seattle, which is a 4-hour drive, and we're halfway there. Will you be safe? Hey, oh, look, a squirrel. Yes, Discord is for everybody. I will drop the link. Anybody can join Discord where everybody hangs out.
you've testified that one of the reasons you kept quiet was because you didn't want him to kill your family, your children. Remember saying that?
Yes.
How did he know you had children if he doesn't even know who you are?
I don't know. Maybe he just.
That was something that somebody pointed out in the comments section. If he doesn't even know who you are, how does he know that you have children that he can threaten to kill if you don't do this clean up for him? There's absolutely no way that you've never seen this person, yet he knows that you have children and he knows about your family. I mean, I guess there's a slim chance in hell, but I don't see it being very possible. Hey, Michelle, good to see you, love.
Made the idle threat.
How did he know where your children live?
I didn't know that at the time because at the time I was at Michelle's. I didn't know if he did actually know. If you have a threat like that when there's a dead body, they're gonna take that threat serious, wouldn't you?
Now, you saw outside that the man wasn't around first, before you saw her body and took her pulse. That's your testimony, correct?
Correct.
Hi, Minion. Good to see you.
Why didn't you call 911?
Because I was afraid and I was already threatened and I wanted to wait until Fabian got there. What could I do?
How about your mom? Couldn't you have said, tell your mom to be careful that
At
this man's
the
coming
time,
after you?
I thought it was the best way is just to wait until Fabian got there.
I mean, most people see a young girl, they'd scream. Did you scream?
No,
Did you give her CPR?
no. I don't actually want to touch her. I got scared because she was already blue.
She was already blue. How many minutes from when you last saw him go in there till when you saw her there?
Just a couple of minutes.
So wouldn't you, if you're not going to give CPR, wouldn't you bring her out on the balcony, the front, out past the front door and help, help? She's not breathing.
So yeah, I would have thought that too. So Minion, she was alone in an apartment. Well, she and an unknown male were in an apartment where 10-year-old Victoria Martins was sexually assaulted and murdered on her 10th birthday and then decapitated. This is a horrific crime. I have a playlist that shows you interrogations from the mother, the boyfriend, and this woman right here who is Jessica. She is the mother's boyfriend's cousin. And she was in a house where a child was, all of that was done while the mother and boyfriend were gone. But the interrogations are different. We find out the interrogations are lies. It's a whole long story. Yep, every time her lips move, she's lying. You're welcome. Michelle, I hope you feel better, sweetheart. Miss Kimmy said, multitasking outside, watching the hummingbirds, and saw my very first cardinal since I've lived in Arizona. That is so cool. I saw a cardinal this morning. And Mr. Speculating was showing me pictures of yellow cardinals. People are saying there's yellow cardinals now, which is interesting. I've never seen a yellow cardinal except for in that picture.
Not with the threat that I was given.
There wasn't anybody there. He'd gone, you said.
How do I actually know that?
Because you saw. You looked outside and he's not there, right?
Yeah, but at the time still I wasn't in my right state of mind.
Now, nobody else saw him either, did they?
No.
There were 4 kids on scooters and people, grocery and adults, and somebody parked in their car. Nobody saw this man come or go, did they?
Oh, I don't know that.
Well, in the papers you read, did they find anybody that could...
Objection, Your Honor. Sustain. Hearsay.
There was
Make sure
that?
you use the microphone. Sorry.
Let me show you one thing.
I'm going to show you real quick. I didn't even know that this was possible. Hold on. So yeah, evidently it's a thing. Someone saw one in a tree. And Mr. Speculating showed me a picture, but yeah, evidently it's a thing. It says the yellow cardinal is a rare bird found in South America known for its striking yellow plumage. The unique coloration is often due to a genetic mutation, which can result in birds that are entirely yellow or have yellow with red and orange accents. Yellow cardinals are one of the rarest color variants of northern cardinal, and their appearance can be attributed to factors such as diet and genetic conditions like leucism, They are characterized by a yellow crown, head, and belly, along with a black mask around their eyes and beak. Interesting. Okay. Let's get back into trial. I'm in 2 and biggest city, Gatlinburg. What? Okay. Sorry. Squirrel. Hold on. Just a minute. All right.
Did you keep the television, and I'm going to show you Exhibit D here. Did you keep that television on all night so that Fabian and Michelle wouldn't know what had happened and what you were going to do?
No.
Did you keep the television on?
I believe I kept it on with no volume.
No volume is your testimony, huh? You didn't have it on so that because you were worried that they might hear something?
No. Honestly, I don't even remember messing with the TV.
Now, your testimony, as I understand it, is you told Fabian pretty much right away, right?
Yes.
It was like 200, but taken down to 44 or 50 years. I think she was sentenced to 50 and has to do 44 years.
Did you throw her school clothes, which I'm showing you Exhibit 40, did you throw her school clothes in the trash?
No.
You didn't put it into Exhibit 35?
No.
Because whoever did that must have been pretty angry at her to put her favorite school clothes, the clothes she wore on her birthday, into the trash, right?
Right.
The unknown man, he didn't throw that in the trash, did he?
No.
And you don't know how it got in there.
No.
I'm wondering if somebody wanted to get rid of the clothes that she was wearing because it might show DNA during the struggle. Do you think that was a thought?
No.
No? Because
I think it was. I think that's exactly why the clothes were thrown into the dumpster, because she didn't want there to risk there being DNA on it. Hey, Sheree. Good to see you. Hannah's listening. That's so sweet of you.
after all, the man didn't throw the clothes in the trash, so he might have left DNA if he struggled with her before she died, right? You don't know. How about yourself? Would you have had any DNA on her clothes?
No, because I didn't do nothing to her.
You didn't do nothing, so there was nothing to hide for you, right?
No.
Fabian, too, he wasn't there when this happened, right?
Right.
When did you change her clothes from her pink top and pajama bottoms to a different set of clothes?
I didn't change her.
Well, do you remember saying in your task bar, page 98, that I put her shirt, page 98, morning?
Which, the 22nd?
Yes, line 24.
I'm going to object to improper impeachment. I'm going to object to improper impeachment, Judge.
While they approach, I want to know what improper impeachment is. We're going to pause it right there. Let's see what... Oh, dang it. Hold on. I got to do it this way. Okay. Cross-examination and impeachment. Impeachment is the process of introducing circumstantial evidence that suggests to the jury a likelihood that the witness does not understand the need to tell the truth, is mistaken, is incomplete, or is lying. A sustained, oh goodness. Okay, let's go back to this one. A sustained improper impeachment objection is not only embarrassing, it also greatly reduces the efficacy of something. Lawyers often seek to impeach the credibility of a witness on cross examination by showing that the witness said something different at an earlier time. So that's what I think it's related to. She said something different at an earlier time, and the prosecution is objecting to the way they're presenting it or to the way he's saying it.
As I remember your testimony, you said you put her pink pajamas back on. Is that what you had said earlier today?
Yes.
And you said earlier I put her shirt back on. Is that the same thing that you're talking about?
Hey, AM.
I said I put her clothes back on.
Okay, her clothes. But isn't it true her pink pajamas are missing?
I don't know.
You don't know. Well, you know about the garbage bags that were underneath her body before she was dismembered, right?
While she was being dismembered, yes.
And there was a lot of blood. All of her blood was on those bags and the clothes that she had.
No.
That were on the ground.
No. It was just on the bags and on carpet.
Well, you threw some. You threw things on the ground, didn't you? Like 151.
Yes, I emptied a basket.
And didn't you clear out her closet, ripping clothes off the hangers to make a nice pile of clothes?
No.
No. And didn't you get rid of the pink pajamas and bloody clothes? Didn't you drive away in Michelle's car and look for a place to get rid of it?
No. I never drove Michelle's car. And I never got rid of no bloody clothes.
You had her keys.
After the fact,
What fact?
after everything happened, I got the keys off the door thing when I was going to leave at the end of that night. Right before the police showed up.
You know, everything that you had, everything that was done, you said Fabian did all of that to her because he didn't want it to look like you guys were involved. Remember that?
Yes.
But isn't the truth you did all of that because she was too heavy to carry?
No.
One person couldn't carry her, right?
Actually, one person could.
Well, you tried and you only...
I'm thinking that she was a very small statured child, so I don't think one person would have that much of an issue trying to carry her. But the issue here is going to be that Jessica is a very used to the legal system, so she's going to know what to say and what not to say. She's she's smart when it comes to breaking the law and what her testimony needs to be in court. So I think this lawyer is going to have a hard time getting her to accidentally, quote unquote, admit to anything.
You got 2 steps down and you almost dropped her, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she was too heavy for you to carry.
Yes.
So one person needed to lighten the load, didn't they?
No.
And you don't know what happened to her pink pajamas. They just disappeared as far as you know.
As far as I know, she was wearing them.
Now you brought the body outside. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You wrapped up Victoria and you did not talk to her. She was already dead, correct?
Correct.
And did the stranger tell you to bring her body outside?
Hey, Cracker.
No.
You did this all by yourself. Fabian didn't suggest that you bring the body outside, did he?
No, he didn't even know she was deceased at the time.
Right, you did this yourself then, right?
Right.
This was your thought, right?
Right.
Why did you bring the body outside? Weren't you trying to get rid of it?
Well, that's what the man told me to do, but I was waiting for Fabian. Being that they pulled up, I was going to just run out to the car and leave with him.
Run out to the car.
But then I second thought it because I didn't know if that guy was still out there.
So that explains the coming down the steps with her wrapping, with Victoria wrapped in a blanket. Evidently, she was going to put Victoria in the car and they were going to leave, but then she was scared the guy was still out there, so she changed her mind. But that doesn't even make sense because if the guy was still out there, I mean, you're putting her in the car and getting rid of the body like the guy told you to do, if we're going with that scenario. So, I mean, like, why would he care how you disposed of the body? He didn't tell you to decapitate her. If I remember your testimony correctly, ma'am, or your lies rather. Glitter is Forever said, did she say she tripped when she was carrying her because she was too heavy? So how would she not know she did not have her pajamas on? She tripped when she was carrying her because she was too heavy. So how would she not know she did not have her pajamas on? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking maybe if she tripped when she was carrying her, maybe she fell and she could see that the child didn't have her pajamas on, or because she took the pajamas off. I'm probably misunderstanding your question. This is not the mother of the kid. This is, so the mother was dating Fabian, the boy, okay, the mother was dating a guy named Fabian, who is on the thumbnail. This is Jessica. Jessica is Fabian's cousin who had just been let out of prison 7 days before this homicide happened for, I do believe it was sexual contact with a minor. And she assaulted another girl while she was in prison with a mop handle. And she had just gotten out on those charges.
Okay, so you were going to take the body down the steps, get in the car. Did you even know they were outside when you came out?
That's the reason why I went out there, because I heard their car radio, and I looked and I seen them outside.
Yes,
right,
Anders.
So there's Fabian and her, and they're playing music and acting crazy down in the car, right? And you're going to bring the body out in public there were kids out there, right?
Yes.
And there was, I think, a woman passing by you into the other apartment with her groceries. Remember her?
No.
Do you remember cars parked and people?
Yes.
And so you were going to take this body and put it in the car, and then what you were going to do? Now, Michelle was in there with him, right?
Yes.
And you were going to say, what? Oh, by the way, this man killed her.
Yes.
But you turned around, and did you smile at Michelle like she was asleep?
No.
Do you remember telling Michelle after they came up that she was asleep?
No.
You don't remember Michelle telling you, well, that's good, 8
Objection,
o'clock's
Your
her bedtime?
Objection, hearsay. Repeat the question, please. Come on up and speak.
We're objecting on hearsay. Objecting on hearsay. Oh, let's see. Hold on. It might be. I don't know. I don't think he turns. It might be. Probably, since they're zoomed in on it like that. Let me make sure I'm not muted. I'm not. Okay. Sometimes I'll be talking away and be muted. Oh. Lord have mercy. This mouse is so touchy. Touchy, touchy. Touchy, touchy. Hold on. Let's switch it to that. He said, so you don't remember, and I was able to pause it real quick.
Or agreeing that it was good, that 8 o'clock is her bedtime, it was close to 8 o'clock. You don't remember that?
No, because it never happened.
It never happened.
Hey, Jenny Jen, I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you, my love. I'm going to email you this evening. So, I'll email. I'm going to send you an email this evening because I need to talk to you. Okay.
Did Victoria have a headache earlier in that day?
No.
Well, you knew she had a big day. The next day was going to be their celebration of her birthday, right?
No.
You didn't know
Yeah,
that?
Carolina.
No.
I thought you had recommended to people that they maybe buy makeup for her birthday party.
For her birthday, not her birthday party.
Okay, for her birthday. And you remember she was too heavy for you to carry, right?
Right.
So you were going to go downstairs and tell them, and then you turned around. Why didn't you tell Michelle when she came in the door?
It's like I bet her that I didn't want a big old situation to turn ugly.
Well, wouldn't there have been a big old situation that turned ugly when you brought the body into the car and
It
told
was
her there?
an ugly situation from the jump. I just didn't want to react in a way that would cause more harm to anybody.
What kind of harm? I mean, not to Victoria. She was dead, right?
So, Divine Rain, good to see you. In the lovely audio we have of her in the hospital room where she is cussing everybody out like it's the daggum, I don't know what. That disgusting display of language that she exuded in the hospital. She's reading over the search warrant and it says your affiant has training in how to detect child related charges and things. And she says, this isn't supposed to list my charges because I got my certificate on that and I just finished, doing my time for that. And she mentions it says sexual penetration of a minor. That was my charge. So that's where I get that charge from because she admitted it in the hospital. Interrogation or audio that we have, she admits that she was charged with sexual penetration of a minor. But the SA charge is from prison where she helped assault or made it possible for another inmate to be assaulted with a mop handle, and that is on her list of charges from the New Mexico Department of Corrections. It does mention that that happened while she was in jail serving time for the trafficking of drugs. That's where I get that stuff from.
Right.
Were you still worried about this man coming, or what was the
Yes, I was still worried about that man coming.
So you didn't tell Michelle that her daughter was murdered because you were afraid that the man would come?
I was afraid, period. I've never been in a situation like this, and I thought I was doing the best thing at the time. Now I look back, it was a wrong decision, but I can't go and fix it.
And you can't fix the 2 years it took for everyone else to figure out that Victoria was already dead when you brought her outside.
It's a good question about the probation officer. She has to be paroled to a specific address, and they're supposed to check and make sure there's not children there, especially if she's got a sexual assault charge of some sort. Um, but they get backed up and things, so it could have been just a slip in the system. She was the lookout. Yes, 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 ma'am. That's it. You're exactly right. She was the lookout while the inmate was assaulted. Now, again, in the hospital audio, she does mention that she says it lists my charge. It says sexual contact with a minor. That's what it's not sexual penetration. I apologize. I had that wrong. Don't go with that misinformation. I do believe it's sexual contact with a minor, and then the penetration thing was the other one. It's confusing, but she does say my charge is listed sexual either contact or penetration of a minor. That's from the hospital audio, and then she was the lookout while the other girl was assaulted in prison. Hey Megan, good to see you. Allegedly, I'm here. Good to see you.
Right?
Can you rephrase that?
You knew that Fabian and Michelle were charged with her murder, and you didn't give your statement to your full confession for 2 years, right?
Right.
It wasn't until the police figured out that she was dead before you all went into the door and closed the door. That was the first change in the case, right?
No. Well, honestly, I don't know what changed in the case or whenever,
Right.
but all I know is from the jump, the story was wrong, and lies have been made, and it wasn't made by me. When I gave my statement matched the facts.
Matched the facts to a T, didn't it?
Not to a T, but it made everything's okay.
So as I understand it, you told Fabian right away.
Divine Range, hey Mercedes, good to see you. Divine Range said she and her cousin were both charged with penetration of a minor for Victoria. They might have gotten charged with it. The only thing that Fabian was convicted of was reckless child endangerment for letting Jessica out around Victoria, because he's the one that asked Michelle if she could stay there since she had just gotten out of prison. Mercedes said, Lord, even in an episode of Black Mirror, does any of this logic make sense? Fascinated by the thought process of people like this. A chip can learn sign language, and then we have humans like this. No doubt. Hey, Lovely Bones, good to see you. You're welcome, Minion. I've got a lot of interrogations and info on the Madeline Soto case there, too. Those were dropped later on. Yes, ma'am, you are correct. Hey, Scratch the Paint. I think she must have known this unknown male from before she was first incarcerated, or this is her husband that she mentioned in the press conference. I agree with you 100%.
That she's dead And you told him about the man too, didn't you?
Yes.
And your story, as Fabian said, he didn't know what that was about, did he? He didn't know why a stranger would kill Victoria.
Right.
Isn't this whole story about it's Fabian's fault just a way for you to share the burdens of somebody else is to blame, not you?
No.
Do you remember Detective Lewis asking you if Fabian didn't know why that man did it? Why doesn't Fabian just leave? I mean, what's his motive to help you do the things that were done to this child if he didn't know any reason, if he didn't cause or permit it, he didn't know why? Why would Fabian help you like that? Do you remember being asked a question like that?
No.
Do you remember in your AM statement to Detective Lewis, do you remember him asking this question to you? Help me understand why, if Fabian doesn't know what he did, and he's obviously not involved in the death of the little girl because he's not there, that portion of it, why doesn't he just leave if he doesn't know what he did?
Hey, Edith.
Do you remember being asked that question?
I believe so.
What was your answer?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Did you say, I don't know? You couldn't really come up with a reason why he would do this with you, could you?
No.
And the detective asked you to explain what was this retaliation. The only thing you could come up with...
Objection, Your Honor. I object, Your Honor. Can we ask her a question versus just telling her what happened?
I'll rephrase.
Okay, sis,
Did you tell the officer it was this chaos thing and everywhere he goes and brags and basically you put it on the fight with Amanda?
I didn't put it on the fight of Amanda, but that could have been the cause. They asked, what would you think about what could have happened? I said, it could have been the cause. I really don't know.
Hey, Tom.
I don't know how many enemies he makes. I don't know. I don't know who this man is.
I don't
And you weren't expecting
agree.
anything
I think
bad
she
to
does.
happen other than maybe Sinner, right?
Hey, Veronica.
I knew that wasn't going to happen.
Okay, so there really was no reason to keep the door ajar, was there?
I was in a paranoid state, sir.
She was
I get like that
tweaking.
when I get high.
Okay. Now, when exactly, I'm a little confused, when did Michelle find out that her child was dead?
When I confronted her and I hit her with the iron.
Okay, so I thought the reason you hit her with the iron is because she didn't really care if her daughter was alive or dead, right?
Yes.
But she didn't know until 9 hours later when you come in there with the iron in your hand. She didn't know that.
I don't know if she did not know.
She's doing really good on the stand because that is true. She would have no way of knowing if Michelle knew or not. That's why he's not going to get her to admit to anything. Indy pointed out if it was her husband, shouldn't his DNA be in CODIS because he was in prison? Yes. Yes, it should be. And that's a good point. I think we did discuss that briefly yesterday. Yeah, that's the Discord link that I grabbed last night, I do believe. So it should be good.
But to my opinion, I think she didn't know until I confronted her.
All right, so And we don't know what's in her brain, but in your mind, you're saying she still doesn't know, right? And yet you're walking in there with this iron.
No.
And didn't you find the iron right next to where you found the sheet that you wrapped up the child in?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure why you wanted Michelle dead if she didn't know.
I didn't know if she did not know.
I know you don't know what she knew, but you thought she didn't know, right?
I thought she did know, and then I confronted her, and then that's when I figured out she didn't know.
She did, you said. I couldn't hear you there. Could you say that again?
She didn't know.
She did not know. Okay. So, I must have gotten it backwards. You figured she must know, and that's why you were going to kill her.
Yes. Well, no, I wasn't going to kill her because of that. I was going to kill everybody because I'm going to prison anyways. Might as well go down for a murder that I committed.
And in fact, the reason you wanted to kill Fabian and...
So she's saying she didn't commit the homicide of Victoria. The reason she wanted to commit the homicide of Michelle and Fabian was she might as well go down for something she actually did. I don't agree with that. Fabian's your cousin that you that you loved so much and grew up with, and all of a sudden you want to commit homicide on him? No.
And Michelle is because you didn't want to leave any witnesses to what you had done, right?
Correct.
Now I got a little ahead of myself. Let's see some of the things that you're doing. Who's
Can I get
looking
this
at
water?
55? Who took the trash bags out of that container there? Is that where you got the trash bags, where you put it, where somebody put everything in?
Actually, I didn't get the trash bag, sir.
Well, why are only your fingerprints on the trash bags?
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor, that's mischaracterization of the evidence. Approved.
Ooh. Why are only her fingerprints on the trash bag? Good point. Because she's the one who did it. In my opinion. You little evil monster, you. She is in a wheelchair, and I don't know if it's because her leg is still messed up where she quote unquote slid off the balcony, or if it's because she's gained so much weight.
Why was the trash bag found in Matthew's room, which was over here, why did it have only your fingerprints on it?
Hey, Miss Scorpio.
Because my stuff was actually in Matthew's room, and when I went running in there to get stuff, I grabbed the trash bag so I could grab some stuff, but I just ended up throwing it there, and I grabbed my purse to leave.
And can you explain for us why Fabian's fingerprints were not found on it?
Objection, Your Honor, same objection, because
You can call for speculation.
All right, I'll move on. Let me ask you, who cleaned up that bowl?
I did.
And that's Exhibit 43. Who cleaned the knives?
I didn't.
You did not.
I did
is your
not.
testimony, right?
Right.
Hey, Miss Scorpio. I'm glad you're okay, Edith.
Did you tell the officer that you were the one that cleaned the knives?
Jesus.
No.
Hold on. We got to go back to that. Dang, it was just a second. We're at 3:25:02. I'm going to back it up just a second. Those are some big old knives.
Cleaned up that bowl.
I did.
And that's Exhibit 43. Who cleaned the knives?
I didn't.
You did not,
I did
is your
not.
testimony, right?
Right.
Good Lord, look at those knives. Like, one could be a kitchen knife, but what is this other knife? And where the hell did that come from? The serrated one. Oh my God. Jesus. Why do we have knives like that in the kitchen? Like, are we, dressing a deer or something? Good Lord. Part of a large scissors. Oh my goodness. That's a bone saw? Like, really? Yeah, it looks like something to dress a deer. Goodness. It does look like a bone saw. Or it is a saw, said Rachel. Could be a saw. Hey, Rachel, good to see you. Maybe a bread knife? I don't see the cord for it, though. Goodness. You have one that big, girl? What are you doing in your kitchen? Good Lord, child. I don't know. Maybe. That's a big one, though. I don't think I've ever seen a big one that big. We don't need a bone saw for making tacos. Lord of
Did you tell
mercy.
the officer that you were the one that cleaned the knives?
No.
I think not.
Let's check the mic, with it more. You want it higher up?
Right here.
Up a little more.
Here.
How's that?
Just keep sliding down.
Yeah, I know, we have to keep adjusting it.
Like right here.
So, yeah.
Right here.
So do you want it clipped on here? So we could try.
Want me to flip it right here?
Yeah, I'm gonna have this second.
Okay.
We're gonna go about 15 more minutes.
It's just weighing it down. So right in the middle?
Yeah. Just try
Do you want to test it? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Very good. Do you remember September 6th, a.m., page 157, line 21? Do you remember Detective Lewis saying, okay, and you know what happened to those knives?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Are you repeating?
I am.
Okay, continue.
Okay, and you know what happened to those knives? They got washed and put back. And okay. And then he asks, do you know who washed them and put them back? Do you remember that question?
No.
And do you remember your answer, I did?
No.
Showing you 25, who put things in the washing machine? Was that you?
Actually, it was me. I was washing laundry that day when I was there, and then after the fight, there was blood all over the floor, so I grabbed the rag and wiped some of the blood off the floor, and I threw it in the washer.
All right. Did you use this broom?
No,
For
I did
anything?
not. No.
That had nothing to do with the case, right? Of that day,
I
to
don't,
your knowledge.
to my knowledge, no.
All right. That was outside in the back porch. Do you remember it?
No.
How about this rag? Did this have anything to do with it, showing you 107?
Actually, I think that might have been the rag, not the one in the wash. That was the one from mine and Michelle's fight.
That was from your fight with Michelle,
Yes.
and there's some blood on it.
Yes.
But that was her blood, right?
Yes.
Well, we'll get to that. Who turned on all the electric burners in Exhibit 30?
I believe I did.
Why?
So you washed the laundry and you did all of these things, and those knives were in the room you were in, but yet you didn't do this. And yeah, it is hard to see those knives like that. It did kind of make it seem real. I mean, I heard them talk about knives in the interrogation, but I never expected to see a knife that big. I don't know. Maybe I need to get some better knives for my kitchen or something, but those are some big old knives. Like, yeah, you definitely could have done what happened with those knives, in my opinion. I absolutely see it as possible.
Trying to start a fire.
All right. You wanted to burn the house down, right?
Yeah.
Now, did the stranger, did he tell you to burn the house down?
No, he didn't.
Did Fabian tell you?
No.
How about Michelle?
How about nobody did? I did it on my own.
You did it on your own, and in fact, they were already gone when you were doing some of this, huh?
That's when Michelle left. That's when I started the fire.
Now, there was, I think I saw it in another picture, but there was this orange laundry basket. Do you remember Exhibit 81?
Yes, I do.
And here's a better, farther away shot. Exhibit 25. First of all, did you hit Michelle with that picture frame before, after the iron?
No, I believe that fell off the shelf.
Okay, you don't remember hitting her with it or anything?
No.
And this orange thing, how did it get in the middle of that room there?
I believe I put it there.
All right, you put it there. And how did the body parts, and looks like there's one or two socks looking at 86 and 92. How did that get into the orange thing?
I have no idea.
And in fact, your fingerprints were on the orange bag, weren't they?
No, objection, Your Honor. Mischaracterization.
I'll move on.
I'm surprised she didn't get up here and say I plead the fifth to everything. But again, I mean, part of her agreement was that she had to testify. So, I don't know. This is interesting. I think her and the unknown male were the lone perpetrators, but I could be wrong.
Can we withdraw that?
So that question will be struck and not considered in any way by the jury.
Thank you, Judge. Did you put is that your purse in the orange bag?
It's a bag that I carry a lot of my paperwork in.
Okay. And as I understand your testimony, the police planted that in Exhibit 81, didn't they?
I can put this one.
You want to just hold in front of your mouth for the next couple minutes,
Okay.
please? Thank you.
Can you restate that, please?
How did that bag with your personal items in it get into the orange laundry basket in the middle of the room?
My opinion, I thought the cops planted it there. I believe the cops manufactured a lot of the evidence in this case, and I believe that was part of it because that bag was in Matthew's closet, and why would I put my personal papers with that? That just don't make no sense.
That's not, your testimony is that orange clothes, that orange container, whatever it's called, the basket, it wasn't in the living room area, and your purse was not in the middle of it when you left and jumped the balcony.
No, I said I placed the orange basket by the door for when we were leaving with the body. I would have taken that out, but my bag was not in there.
So you don't know how the bag or the sock or anything got in there. You didn't put them in there.
No, I didn't.
That's your
And
testimony.
I know Fabian didn't either.
Now looking at 147, who removed the smoke alarms? Did the cops remove them after you left, or did you take those off of the ceiling?
I took those off of the ceiling.
And that's because your plan was to kill the witnesses
The infamous smoke detectors.
and burn the house down, right?
Correct.
But I thought you and Fabian were working together on this thing.
We were.
But it changed from working together to killing you. How did that happen?
At the end, I really didn't care anymore. I was so scared. I didn't want to deal with it, and that was my best way of dealing with it. I thought I could actually go through with it, but I couldn't.
Well, you kind of went through with it, didn't you?
No.
So I dropped my my moderator's link. Here, Sandra, she does some. Oh, gosh, if I wasn't trying to think of his dang name, I could remember it. But yeah, he gets girls from jail, and she was telling me, I don't know if she put it out on her channel, but like she said there was emails between him and his wives, his TikTok wives, and he was talking dirty to him on the phone, saying, "I want you to shit in my mouth, and like I want to." I don't know, like blood and poop and semen and all kinds of just disgusting. Ugh. Yes, Wade Wilson, thank you. It was, ugh, God almighty, like it was the nastiest shit I've ever heard in my life.
How did I kind of go through it?
Well, let me show you.
Objections.
I apologize, that hasn't been admitted yet. Let me show you Exhibit D. Is this how she looked when you hit her with the iron?
I believe so.
We'd move D into evidence.
No objection. D will be admitted.
So if I may publish.
I wanted to see it.
When you say you didn't go through with the murder, I mean, nobody else besides Victoria died, but you certainly started hitting her at least once, maybe more, with an iron, right?
I hit her once with the iron.
That's the
And
grandparents.
You don't remember hitting Fabian, right?
I didn't hit
You
Fabian.
did not hit him. He wouldn't have any marks on his body that look like an iron, right?
No.
Because you never hit him with the iron,
He
right?
took the iron away from me.
Before you hit him, is what you're saying.
No, he took it while I was swinging it on the show.
Okay. So you never attacked...
Good God,
Fabian.
in the morning. Good God. Oh my God, look at her. It looks like her mouth is bleeding. Jesus. Wow. My goodness. This is the mother, Michelle.
After all, he was your buddy, right? I
He's not my
you-
buddy, he's my cousin.
Well, your cousin, but I mean, the two of you are working together that night.
No matter what, I'm gonna have my cousin's back.
Right, so there's no way you would have attacked him.
No.
And when you hit somebody with an iron on the head, that's a kill shot, isn't it?
No.
Well, it could be, huh?
Well, no.
That's what you wanted to have happen, right?
No.
You didn't want to...
Vero, that was from the night that everything happened. Right after, I guess that's right when the police got to the neighbor's apartment. before they took her to the hospital to get stitched up, basically, from where they hit her in the face. You know, an iron that you iron your clothes with? Jessica, the lovely piece of work you see sitting here on the stand, smacked Michelle Martins in the face with it right after she asked, "Do you believe in God?" And what we just saw, that picture, was Michelle right after that happened, while they were waiting on the cops to get there.
Kill Michelle when you hit her on the head?
I hit her on the head, but I didn't believe that
Hey,
the
Dainty.
iron will actually kill her with one hit.
Okay, so you weren't trying to hurt her, is what you're saying.
No, I was trying to hurt her.
You were trying to kill her because you didn't want to leave any witnesses. Right?
Yes.
Now, there's 2 nightstands in the master bedroom showing you 114. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And there's some chargers on each side where you can charge a cell phone while you're sleeping at night, right?
Right.
And you, showing you 91, you
Exactly.
took those cell phones even before you came in with the iron. You took their cell phones and you had them. You were going to leave with them, right?
Yes.
So you were kind of planning your escape from that apartment, weren't you?
Yes.
I think you already said, but you put the methamphetamine that you had in your bra, didn't you?
Into my mouth.
Oh, into your mouth, all right. You put Fabian's wallet in your bra.
Yes.
And when you went outside, did the wallet showing you Exhibit E as an echo, did the wallet drop when the officers arrested you?
Yes, it must have.
Because you had put it in your bra before you jumped off the balcony, but it wasn't there when you were processed later on, right?
Well, I knew it fell out when they slammed me on the floor, so it must have fell out.
And some other
So she ate the meth, she put it in her mouth. Fabian's wallet was in her bra, and it fell out when she jumped or when the cops got her. Okay, I'm following you for a minute. I don't know, Megan. You're green, so that's weird. You have to find your basil emoji. Basil, these emojis that Bellis is showing is my actual rabbit, Basil. He just came in the room. I was telling y'all he's here with us for a little bit.
things fell out too, showing you Exhibit 11.
Objection, Your Honor. New reproach.
I'll withdraw,
Okay.
just to try to keep moving. Judge, would this be a good point?
Sure, you can break here. All right. We're going to break for today. We'll be back at 9 o'clock in the morning. Same place. For the rest of the evening. Thank you. All right.
Okay, so the next section is like an hour and 40-something minutes. So we'll go ahead and watch that. Kathleen said, so she was trying to unalive them. So if she was trying to unalive them so there would be no witnesses, then I'm thinking that she did this crime, the stupid biatch. Yeah, I think she did too. And I think she was trying to commit the homicide on them. Hold on. So that there would be no witnesses. Exactly. Yeah, this one's only an hour and 35 minutes.
So, Ms. Kelly, yesterday there were some transcripts that were...
Let me see.
Is that on?
This one is July 15th, 2022 morning session.
Is that on now?
Yeah.
How about this one? This one? No.
She's continuing testimony for this.
Let me go over here. Is this on?
We have about an hour and 16 minutes. So, okay. I could see that, Dainty. I really could. It's so sad. Yes, Basil. I raised Basil from the time he was 6 hours old. He's very loving.
He doesn't have much.
I think Miss Kelly's.
He lets me pick him up and he gives me kisses.
And depends how many do you have over there?
We have 2 and we're doing good. I'm wondering if you
Okay. Do you want to grab Mr. Dangler? Sure.
Mine works.
Okay.
I have it on red. So you push the button on the
Oh, I see. Okay. Fancier. Okay. Is that on? No?
I'll get it.
And depends how many do you have? Okay. How about a jail recording that you didn't know was happening? Remember that?
Yes.
I'm going to play for you a clip, like the actual audio of that, so you can hear what was said for yourself. Okay.
There's no captions available for this one. Let me turn my air off and I'll try to tell you what it says. This is a jail audio. She said she's going to play a jail audio she didn't know was happening.
Let me just triple check it's the right one.
Okay. Aw, Lisa, that's so sweet.
Hey, fucking got a plea for fucking 12 to 15 today, and I see you, motherfucker, you got me. Yeah, she got a fucking plea 12 to 15, but they did a sentence her.
Whoa. Out the damn gate with it. Okay, she said, hey, something about she got 12 to 15. I see they didn't sentence her. I see you, motherfucker. This is going to be vulgar. I'm going to try again. I'm giving you a... She said, hey, I'm giving you a trigger warning. I'm going to try to tell you what she says, what I hear with headphones on. It's going to be vulgar.
Fucking got a plea for fucking 12 to 15 today.
Fucking got a plea for 12... She fucking got a plea for fucking 12 to 15 today.
And I see you, motherfucker, you got me.
And I see you, motherfucker, you got me.
Yeah, she got a fucking plea 12 to 15, but they did a sentence her.
She got a motherfucking plea for 12 to 15, but they didn't sentence her.
But they said that there is an unknown male that is out there.
But they didn't sentence her yet, but they said there's an unknown male that is out there.
You hear me? They did
You hear me? They did it.
eliminate, they did some raping her, you hear me? But
They did. Hold on. I couldn't tell if she said they did or didn't eliminate Fabian from raping her.
they said that there is an unknown male that is out there. You hear me? They did eliminate, they did some raping her,
They did eliminate Fabian from raping her.
you hear me? But she did not get a murder charge. I told you.
But she did not get a murder charge. I guess she's talking about Michelle. And she said, I told you.
That is, you hear me? Well, it kind of does, but then why would he not?
I couldn't hear what the person's saying back to her. Let me try to back it up. I'm going to go back to 324.
They did eliminate, they did some raping her, you hear me? But she did not get a murder charge. I told you. That is, you hear me?
She said that the person she's talking to said that shit is dumb. And she said it is. You hear me?
Well,
She said something. I can't hardly hear her. Something about, does that change it for you? Jessica's answering, well,
it kind of does.
it kind of does. But
Why
then,
would he lie? You know what I mean? Why would he lie and say he seen shit that he didn't? Like, it straight said that she fucking lied on every
Okay, but why would he say he said he's seen shit that he didn't? It kind of does change it for me, but why? But she's something. I can't quite understand her.
IQ. She lied on everything, and they said, please do not
She said she lied on everything, and they said, please do not.
fucking take into what has been put out about the case.
Please do not talk about what has been put out or not been put out about the case. Tom says only concern for themselves, not a word of remorse for the poor little girl. You got a point.
It's all been lies.
It's all been lies.
The press fucking conference just said that it's all been lies.
The press conference just fucking said that it's all been lies.
Everything that's been put out about this case is all been fucking lies. She
Everything that's been put out about this case has all been fucking lies. She
was lying because she's a people pleaser, and being that she has such a low IQ.
She was lying because she's a people pleaser and being that she has such a low IQ.
She said whatever people wanted her to say.
She said whatever people wanted her to say. So she's saying that Fabian admitted to seeing shit that he didn't see. She's mad that Michelle only got 12 to 15 years, and the press said that Michelle lied, that she's a people pleaser and has a low IQ, and she's mad about that. Yeah, look at her face. She's freaking mad and upset.
Ms. Kelly, do you remember that, saying that?
Yes.
Okay. And is that different than what the transcript that you were looking at yesterday or was being shown to you yesterday says?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not sure, Judge.
Do you want to clarify what it is that she?
Yeah, what is different about that?
It's saying, in the front of the transcript, it says something different, saying, about me having, somebody get him in prison.
So she's saying on that transcript, it was talking about Fabian safe in prison. He's not going to be raped, but my husband is a big motherfucker in there. I don't know if y'all remember hearing that the other day. Jessica's issue is that in that phone, that's the phone call that was played, but on the transcript, it says something about Fabian and his safety in prison.
My husband, I believe.
Let me show you the transcript, yeah.
Let me show you. She said, let me show you the transcript. I hate that this one doesn't have captions.
Okay. Let me have you look at this portion here on page 4 and see if this portion is correct as to what you hear on that call or that recording.
This is correct, that was on the recording.
Did you say set it up?
No,
Do you want to listen to it again?
yes.
So they found the part of the transcript that's correct, and she's saying that's correct. She is a crazy psycho. She really is. Tom said, who gives a flying F about Fabian's safety in prison? No doubt.
Hey, you fucking got a plea for fucking 12 to 15 today, and I see you, motherfucker, you got me.
Oh,
Yeah, she got
sorry.
a plea 12 to 15, but they didn't sentence her and tell me if they didn't go. But they said that there is an unknown male that is out there. You know what I mean? They did eliminate Fabian from raping her, you know what I mean? But she did not get a murder charge. I told you. That is, you know what I mean? Well, it kind of does, but then why would he lie? You know what I mean? Why would he lie and say he's seen shit that he didn't? Like, it straight said that she fucking lied on every story she said because she has a low IQ. She lied on everything, and they said, please do not fucking take.
I said it,
Okay.
not set up.
It's a little hard to hear because it's like, you know, are you sure that
I'm
you,
positive.
She's saying that she said it, not set up.
so with that, Judge, I know that we have the juror question that needs to be asked, but I think now that there's a clarification, I think the state's going to move for admission, this exhibit, so that the jury, since it's already been kind of put out there that she said that, I think the jury should be able to listen for themselves too, versus, you know, sort of debating if it really said that or not. I think they should be able to hear this portion.
We agree that the tape should come into evidence.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that, and then I don't know if you want to, Mr. Aaron's, clarify that question from the jury, or if you, I'll leave it up to you how you want to handle that.
Yeah, I think I'll give her an opportunity to explain like she did, and then I could move the tape into evidence.
Okay, let's do it that way then.
Do you have the physical tape somewhere?
No, I have a thumb drive, and we're on states 244.
You say 244?
Yes. Yes.
Let's go ahead and bring him in right now. Thank you.
Hey, Kim, right?
I'm not holding the call.
It's scary. Her eyes are scary. Good to see you, Kim, and thank you for being here. The interactions of what, this that's going on right now? There's nothing going on. Okay.
Mr. Aaron.
Thank you, Your Honor. A few minutes ago, did we listen to the tape of that took place in your pod back in June of 2018? Did we listen to a little part of that?
Yes, we did.
And after you were talking about the complaint and the male DNA, what do you believe you said on the tape after you say, you asked why would Fabian lie and say he's seen shit that he didn't? What's the next?
I said it.
I said it.
I said it.
And what did you mean by that?
I was just letting him know, like I said it, like I knew this was gonna happen.
Okay, so you weren't saying you did anything. You were just saying that that you saw this coming, that this is how it was going to play out.
Yes.
All right. I'd move into Exhibit Defense Exhibit I as in India, the actual tape.
It's marked as states 244 already.
Okay, so 244.
Yeah. No objection.
By stipulation, 244 will be admitted. That states 244.
Thank you. Now, there's some other things that, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but you said when you were talking to the inmate that when you said he is dead, meaning Fabian is dead, you meant that he's dead to you.
Yes.
Well, why did you say that you were glad he wasn't going to be raped because he is dead? How will he not be raped in prison if he's dead to you?
Well, honestly, with child charges in prison, it is hard for males.
Right.
And usually they're beat, they're raped. It just depends on their charges. and I was just clarifying, I'm glad he ain't gonna be that, at least he ain't gonna be raped.
Not that he was going to be dead.
No.
And why were you talked about your husband as a big MF in prison after saying that Fabian is dead. Why did you say that about him?
I was just having a conversation with another inmate, and being that they know my ex, I was just throwing that in there, being extra.
Well, weren't you suggesting that your ex would take care of Fabian?
No, I didn't say that.
So the two aren't related at all, him being dead and your husband being an MF in prison?
No.
Now, did you talk about how there were one or more unknown male or unknown males? They don't know who they are. Do you remember talking about that?
I repeated everything that was on the press conference.
Okay. But you were concerned because they hadn't offered you a plea because you won't talk, right?
Honestly, I just was trying to see how this case was progressing, and honestly, I was just excited that she got a plea in a negative way.
Well, on page 5, did you say they're going to say more than one person killed her, or was, you know what I mean? So in all reality, I'm the last one to go, and being that they haven't offered me an effing plea because I won't talk. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
So you were thinking you needed to get a plea like Michelle Martin's got a plea?
No.
No?
That wasn't my thinking at all. Honestly, I was going to take this to full trial because I didn't want to sit here and do this.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about your plea in a few minutes, but I wanted to ask you some questions. First, I wanted to show you Exhibit 40 that's been previously. Is this the jumpsuit that Victoria was wearing on her birthday?
I believe so.
Okay. Now, isn't it true she didn't change into her pajamas because it wasn't time to go to bed?
No.
Let me ask you, was she strangled while she was wrapped in that blanket?
No.
Did
Those towels from earlier that day before that man even came.
Oh, okay. Well, did she urinate all over this blanket, and that's why you washed it?
No. I believe I washed a bunch of towels and stuff in the laundry from that day because in Matthew's room, his room smelled like urine because I guess he had accidents. And I was washing the bedding and the towels and everything from that day from everybody showering and stuff.
So you're saying you washed this because of Matthew's urine, not because of her urine?
Not the towels, the bedding that was in the dryer.
Okay. And this is M11?
So you were asking earlier about like excrement because when you die, you release your bowels and things like that. So it does make sense that she was washing it because when she passed, she might have urinated. But I do know that they said Matthew had accidents too because of the abuse that he was enduring as well.
Is that what had urine from Matthew?
No, those are towels that we showered with that day.
And she wasn't wrapped in that towel so she wouldn't scratch her killer, right?
Right.
Now, you can't explain looking at 35 how her birthday suit, her birthday clothes, her jumpsuit got in the trash.
I can't explain why.
And that includes her soiled panties that are in there as well, aren't they?
I don't know how they got in there, sir.
Well, I think you'll agree with me, the unknown man did not put her birthday clothes in the trash, did he?
No.
And Fabian didn't do that, did he?
I have no idea.
Well, your testimony is that she had changed into her pajamas.
I did say that, because she did.
Well, you didn't see Fabian throw her birthday.
Like I told you, I didn't see anybody throw that in there, sir.
Okay. And so you didn't see Michelle do that.
Like I said, I seen nobody throw that in there, sir.
Did the police do it like they had thrown your bag and sock, a sock into the orange basket?
Objection, Your Honor.
It's Eileen Warnos, female serial killer from Florida, who committed homicide
Do you think maybe the
men that she was tricking with to earn money?
the police did that through her jumpsuit in the trash, like they had thrown your bag and a sock
Objection,
in the orange
Your Honor.
basket?
Same objection.
Like you think they did those things?
They could have happened.
All right, and you don't really know if they did either one of those things, do you?
No, I do know that they did put my purse because I was the last one in the house and that my bag was not in there.
Okay.
Why would they put... Okay, so you're saying that somebody came in the house afterwards, presumably you're saying the police, and put your purse on top of a laundry basket that has a trash bag with the child's organs in the bottom. And somebody else put your purse there? No, no ma'am. She is done with this. I've always felt sad for Eileen too. Hey, Rubber Ramada, good to see you. Oh, Norma, that noise you heard is white noise. I don't know if that's why you were saying what the hell. They turn on white noise so the media can't hear what they're saying at the sidebar, I guess.
Officers are known for manufacturing evidence, especially.
Oh, so she's saying the officer set her her purse, they knew it was hers, and set it in the bag with the trash bag of organs in the bottom of it. Stop.
Like this.
All right. Speaking of the socks, did Fabian and you wear the same kind of black socks?
Yes.
Have a good day, Indy.
You had bought the socks, and you bought a big pack of them, and you gave him half and you wore half, right?
Yes.
And that was one of your financial contributions toward your rent. You helped out.
No, that wasn't. The contributions for the rent was for the house, like the hygiene and the groceries and stuff that the household. I gave that because I gave him half of my socks.
Right. And those were black socks, correct?
Correct.
Now let me ask you, why did Fabian go into the bedroom before you two got rid of the body?
I have no idea.
Well,
That's a question for him, not me.
he didn't say anything before he went to sleep.
He never went to sleep that night, sir.
All right, so he was awake the whole time, but he was in the bedroom when you came into the bedroom, wasn't he?
Yes, he was awake when I came into the bedroom.
He was awake in the bedroom. Where was he?
He was laying on the bed,
Laying
on top of the covers.
All right. Now, as I understand it, you were planning to dump the body up Sheree Barella's road. Is that right?
Correct.
They dump bodies up there all the time. Don't they find bodies up there, don't they?
Yes.
Now, Sheree is your best friend, not Fabian's.
Actually, it's a childhood friend. I've been friends with her since middle school. We all went to middle school together.
You know what? Scratch the paint, you're absolutely right. Yesterday she said it wasn't her purse that was in top of that basket, but today she's saying it is her purse and somebody else put it there. Like the cops trying to set her up because they would know by walking in the apartment whose purse is whose and whose purse needs to be put on top of the bag with the child's organs in it. Stop it.
But she's your best friend, somebody that picked you up the day you got out of prison, didn't she?
Correct.
And your plan was to dump the body and then go to Sheree's house? Is that where you were headed?
No.
And you deny taking a dry run up there, dumping off blood-soaked things.
Hey, Kim Casey, good to see you. Just got home from jury selection. Let the judge know due to his charges of assault on spouse and child neglect, alleged abuse, I won't be suited for the case. Interesting. I've never been selected for jury duty, but I'm glad that you got out of it.
And her pink pajamas, don't you?
Yes, because it never happened.
You say that you put the pink pajamas back on her, don't you?
Yes.
But the truth is, she wasn't wearing pink pajamas. I'm going to show you 182, but I'm not going to publish this to the jury again. Is this how she looked in the bathtub when you ran?
Yes.
And she's not wearing pink pajamas, is she?
Not on the bottom.
Nor the top. She's got a bright red shirt on the top, doesn't she?
Not in this picture, but the pink pajama bottoms and the pink top she was wearing, it might have been a darker pink, but it was the top that she was wearing.
And you don't know what happened to her pink bottoms or her top.
No.
I think you would agree with me that the unknown man did not take her pink pajama bottoms, did he?
No.
Fabian and Michelle didn't when they ran away.
No.
Do you think maybe the police lost or destroyed the pink pajamas?
They could have.
If you were helping Fabian that night clean up his mess, why did you sneak into his room and take their phones while they were asleep?
I just sneak in their room and take them while they're asleep. I asked them for them.
Oh, so they just said, okay, here's our cell phones, you can have them.
Yes, they did.
And why did you take their phones?
Like I said yesterday, because I was planning on killing them.
Because you were planning on killing them.
Yes.
Well, but they didn't know you were going to kill them, did they?
Why not?
I mean, you didn't say anything before you came in with the iron.
No.
So, what was said, if anything, when they voluntarily give you their cell phones?
They said for what? I said just give them to me.
And they just did what you said.
Yes.
You didn't sneak in there and take them from their chargers.
No.
Why did you switch from trying to help your cousin to trying to kill him?
Because of the situation that was in hand. It will make you do things that you wouldn't want to do. Like stay in a situation like that.
So it's just the drugs that made you do that, or?
No, I said the situation.
All right, well, explain what you mean, because
Because in one moment you're trying to help him, and the next moment you're trying to kill him.
the two of you are helping each other, as I understand your testimony, get rid of the body and make it look like it was somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the two of you, not just you, were going to take it out past Sheree's place on the road, right?
Correct.
But then you say, okay, I need to kill him before you even get rid of the body. Why did you, what is it about the situation that caused you to switch plans?
I freaked out.
Didn't you freak out because Fabian didn't go to sleep as fast as you needed and you didn't have enough time to do everything you were going to do?
No.
Bellis, thank you so much for gifting 20 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Those went to Rebecca Scott, Shannon Vaughn, Oddball, Todd Wilbur, Bryn Emerald, Donna Kay, Christine Schroeder, Whodunit, Jean Murphy, Kat Morrison, Davy Ward, Debbie Barker, Jacqueline Gill. I think they just got one, if I remember correctly. Scottish Lass, DP, Kathy B58, Starletta, Melissa with one S, Kimmy C, and Kimmy C. If you were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you, and I will grab the Polar Express and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Abellis. That was so sweet of you. Oh, I know. Sometimes they'll do it to people who are talking in chat, and sometimes it won't. It's weird like that. You're so sweet, though. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. We got a minute to break, so I know that it's nerve-wracking hearing him just question her and stuff. I don't know. I don't think she's going to be on the stand a whole lot after today. And I know Michelle testifies, so we're probably about done with this trial because I'm not going to watch all of them testify. I just want to see Jessica's full testimony and then Michelle's full testimony, and we'll probably pretty much wrap up the case after that. But I find it interesting because he's pointing out, oh my goodness, a lot of things that don't make sense about the testimony she said. Oh, you're so sweet, bad girl. I really appreciate that. Thank you. She said, I stand with you and our speculating family. That's so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Abella said, I concur. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. Y'all touch my heart. Thank you. I really appreciate that, sweetheart. Aw. Thank you so much.
Now, at some point, doesn't Michelle run into Victoria's bedroom during this fight with the iron?
No.
So you don't remember her going in there to look for Victoria. Is that right?
No, I do remember. She never did.
She never went into her child's bedroom for her.
No.
And didn't you, and help me on this, did you say to Michelle, whether she's in the room or not, did you say to her, your baby is dead?
I believe so.
Well, where was she when you said that to her?
I believe coming right out of her room into the living room.
So it was early
It's a
on.
small area, it's just right there.
The whole place is pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, why did you tell her if you thought she must have already known and didn't care?
So I wanted to see her reaction.
So were you proud to say, hey, your baby's dead?
No.
How did you know she was looking for her baby?
I call bullshit. I think she said, hey, your baby's dead because she wanted to just hurt her a little bit more before she ran out the door. I think she absolutely meant what she said in a hurtful way.
She didn't run into that room.
She never ran into the room, so this is the second time you asked me.
I know,
And I told you she never did.
Hey,
She
Stephanie.
came out of
Good
the
to
room
see
and
you,
we
love.
started fighting.
Right.
We were fighting. She never did.
All right, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I understand your testimony is she never went to the room.
Yes.
But what prompted you, I mean, you're fighting, trying to kill her with the iron, and she's coming out of the bedroom. Why, in that moment of all moments, did you say, your baby's dead?
I wanted to see her reaction.
All right. It wasn't anything she did to make you think she was looking for Victoria.
She wasn't looking for Victoria, sir.
Right. Okay. And you hit her because she didn't care.
Yeah.
But this was said after you were already in the bedroom and you said you believe in God and you were going to kill both of them. Why did you didn't hit her because she didn't care? She was asleep. I mean, how could she care about her child if she's asleep when you attack?
She was not asleep, sir.
Okay, so both of them were awake.
Both of them were awake on top of the blankets, like I said before. They were both awake when I went in there.
Okay, I didn't understand that. So she's awake as well when you come in with the iron.
Yes.
Now, did you say that the police threw you off the balcony as you jumped?
Yes, I did.
Did the neighbors hear, were they around hearing you? I'll withdraw.
Okay.
Did you say, you've got the wrong person, it's not me, I didn't do it? Did you say that?
Honestly, I'm not too sure if I actually said that. If I could see the transcripts to refresh my memory, maybe.
So you don't, do you remember?
Mallory, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I had to step away for a second with the kids. Mallory said, I know I'm not always in chat, but I love it here too. Well, we love having you here. That was so sweet of you. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. You're so sweet. I love our speculating family. I really appreciate that, sweetheart. Thank you so very much. Genevieve had asked how much money did they have on them together when they were all arrested. That's a good question. I don't know if I can find out, but I'll work on trying to figure that out. Thank you again, Mallory. That was so sweet. And Bad Girl and Abellis, y'all are all so very sweet. Thank you. And our whole speculating family, y'all are awesome. I appreciate y'all. Hannah, everybody, y'all are so very sweet. I love our speculating family. Thank you all so very much.
Remember saying that, or you don't remember saying
I don't remember saying that.
All right.
But if you have the transcripts, if I read them, I can refresh my memory and I can clarify
All
what you're trying to ask.
So if I were to show you, or the state were to show you, it's actually what someone else heard. But let me go back to the part about you saying the police threw you off. Why did you say that? They weren't even through the front door yet, were they?
They were probably through the front door right when I slid out the second story.
All right, so they're kicking, and by the way, you locked that front door, didn't you? That was, you put that little chain thing on it and everything?
Well, I know I shut the door once I seen the officer. I'm not too sure if I chained it or not.
But you locked it. You didn't want them coming in, did you?
No, I didn't want them coming in after me. No, I didn't.
Because you still had some things to do, didn't you?
No.
No? You weren't.
How was I gonna do anything when the officer's already there, sir? Help was already there.
Well, let me
I
ask you.
knew somebody was on their way, and the officers did it. I'm a convicted felon. I've been in prison before. When I
He's getting a reaction out of her. Sorry, I didn't mean to be really loud. He's getting a reaction out of her, and that's what he wanted. Hey, Lynn, it's good to see you, love.
see a cop, I'm sorry, I run, even if I am not in the wrong.
But you did more than run, didn't you?
I ran and then I went back up to them because I knew that was the right thing to do.
Didn't you start the fire that to burn the body?
I started the fire to show that I was trying to get rid of the body.
All right. Well,
I knew that wouldn't start a fire enough to burn the body. That's common sense. It would not burn. I lit the corner of the blanket and that's it.
didn't you try to burn the body because you were trying to get rid of your DNA?
No, I said I was never actually trying to burn the body. I was trying to make it look like I was trying to get rid of the body.
Well, I'm trying to understand, why did you want the police to think that you were trying to burn the body?
I didn't want the police. I wanted the killer to know that.
The killer?
Yes.
That man, he would find out that you tried to burn the body, and so he wouldn't go after you, I guess, right?
Right.
Okay. Did Victoria really deserve to have her body burned like that?
Victoria didn't deserve none of this. And if I could take her place, I would.
I don't believe that. She said Victoria deserved none of this, and if I could take her place, I would. I don't think that. I don't believe that for a hot damn minute.
Now, did you tell the police officers at your arrest, I just got thrown off the effing balcony, dude? Did you say that?
I sure did. I don't deny that.
Who threw you off? Did the unknown man throw you off?
Like I said, I slid off the balcony on my own.
But you said you were thrown off.
I know I said that. I know I said that. I told you I did lie to the officers.
Okay, all right. So that wasn't true.
No.
And you told the officer that you did not start the fight with Michelle. She started swinging at you. Do you remember telling the officer first that?
Yes.
You told the officer she woke up and asked where her daughter was. And he said, she hit you first? What was your answer?
Yes.
So you said she hit you first, but that was a lie, correct?
That was a lie.
You said, I wasn't really fighting with her. She woke up, started swinging, and I said, hey, dude, I can't find your daughter, dude. Somebody's in the effing in here, dude. Do you remember saying that to the officer?
Correct.
Now, who was this somebody who's in here, in the effing in here? Who are you talking about?
I'm referring to the killer.
Okay. So he was...
That's a good question, Edith. Edith said if Jessica did it by herself, what would be her motive? And that's one thing we can't figure out, and I don't know if we'll ever know. We do know there was an unknown male there at some point. I questioned, did she try to sell Victoria to obtain more substances? She was making money somehow when she had gotten out. She had quite a bit of money on her, which is weird to be making money like that, especially fresh out of prison, enough to go downtown, enough to go to the downs and to the casinos and stuff. Like, Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, at least she's not pretending to cry. Minion said, "Blink, lady." Goodness gracious.
Was in there when she woke up. Is that what you meant to say to the officer?
No. I was just telling the officers the story to leave me alone, and so they could hurry and book me.
But to leave you alone, you were saying somebody else is in there, right?
Yes. I was giving the officers a story, that's what they asked for, so they could get me medical attention.
Do you talk in a certain way so that you manipulate people into what you need to talk about?
Do you have a reference for that, Mr. Aaron?
Yes, September 6th, page 27, line 18. Do you manipulate people with what you tell them to hide it from the cops in particular?
When I talk about drugs, I talk in a code, I said.
Right, and you talked in code to your sister, I guess, on the phone, right? When she called you earlier, you said some code to her so she knew, hey, they're listening.
When was this phone call earlier? I don't, can you
That would have
clarify?
been before the child was murdered. You had a phone call that was mostly with your sister. She had called you from the jail. Did you talk to her in this code?
I was kind of letting her know, don't talk the phone, didn't you hear me blankly tell her the phone call is recorded?
But you also, I think, told the officer that you were saying things in code to her so that she would know. You don't remember that?
I do remember that. I was letting her know, like, sinners on the phone, like, get back, hello, don't talk.
Yes, Anders pointed out that some people think she sold Victoria to a pedo and he smothered her and then she had to get rid of the evidence. And I think that's very possible that happened. Hey, Barbie. Barbie said that's why Fabian kept asking Victoria, why did Jessica give you money? I think that I agree 100%. And I think there is a direct correlation. I think Fabian knew that Jessica could have been doing stuff like that. I mean, that's what makes sense to me. And I also question, like, did Fabian, I mean, did he know that that was happening to Victoria? Was he somehow involved with that? Like, had he done it? I don't know. It's weird. Like, maybe Jessica had mentioned something about it while she was high, and Fabian was like, "No, we're not going to do that. That's horrific." And then Victoria shows up with some money, and he's like, "What the fuck?" He was really adamant and really worried about Jessica giving Victoria money, and that's weird to me. Jessica is the new Candyman, right? Yep. Veronica said, how long were they in a relationship, Fabian and Michelle? I think it was about 3 weeks. He had been living there for 3 weeks. I know that.
Talk on the phone.
Okay.
I'm sorry, like, in prison, I don't know if you really understand. In prison, you could say the wrong thing on the phone and STIU gets you and you could get in trouble. I'm not trying to get my sister in trouble for her talking about me tweaking, sir. I'm not.
All right. And that phone conversation, Fabian wasn't.
Really? Is that like everywhere? I've never heard that before. I was only in county, so I was never given any money when I got out. But is that like a prison thing? They're given $200 and all the money they earned while working? I would think that the money they earned while working would go on their tab so that they could get commissary and stuff, but I could be wrong. And Michelle knows a lot of chomos from one person, in my opinion. She did. She did. And that's weird. Like, how do you know that many chomos? About a month or less, said Jenny Jen. Yep. Just like most ex offenders, they're not rehabilitable and they will accelerate. I think so. It's different for different states. Really? I had no idea. Interesting.
There when you were talking to your sister, was he?
No.
And neither was Michelle.
No.
This was just something between you and your sister that you were tweaking.
Yes.
Now, I wanted to get back to this word. Don't you talk in a certain way so that you manipulate people into what you need?
No, I talk in code.
Well, did you tell Detective Lewis?
Objection, Your Honor.
Can you show me the transcript and refresh my memory?
Oh, 1 second. So, Ms. Daly, make sure you're saying your objection into the microphone. Sorry. That's okay.
I'm going to object, Your Honor, to just a mischaracterization and ask that she be refreshed with the entire portion where she said that.
Can you refresh, Mr. Ernst? Is that what you were going to do?
No, I was going to ask her if she said this.
Okay, let's ask her first and let's see what the answer is.
All right. Did you tell Detective Lewis, quote, I talk a certain way, so I manipulate people into what I need to talk about, and I try to hide it from the cops, unquote.
Objection, Your Honor. I would ask that he read the whole sentence.
Can I see it?
There's that white noise again. Should be coming back any second. Okay.
Let me read the whole sentence to you. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've been selling drugs since I was a kid, and the people I associate with, I talk a certain way, so I manipulate people into what I need to talk about, and I try to hide it from the cops. Do you remember saying that to Detective Lewis?
Correct.
So you manipulate people to get what you want.
No, I manipulate my wording on how I'm trying to get something across over a phone call when I'm talking about drugs.
Aren't you manipulating the jury today to get what you want?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's your objection?
He's badgering the witness, Your Honor.
Overruled. You can answer.
Are you manipulating today because you want your plea agreement?
No,
Well,
I'm not.
let's go over that. I want to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit A. Do you recognize this document?
Mr. Aaron, can we have a movement? Mr. Aaron put his notes off of the document camera.
Thank you.
Yes, there's a lot of things blocked out on here, so,
Well, we haven't put we blocked out the name of the charges, but if you look at the whole agreement, is this what you signed? We also blocked out the penalty, but everything else shows up. Do you see your signature on the last page?
I do.
All right. And other than the blockouts, this is pretty much what it looked like when you signed it in January of 2019, isn't it?
Yes.
And you understood that you were pleading no contest to 6 charges, right?
Right.
You weren't admitting that you were guilty of those charges, but you weren't contesting the state's right to find you guilty of those charges, right?
Right.
All right. Now, count 1 was a lesser of count 1 of your amended indictment, right?
Correct.
So they dropped down count 1. You also pled to counts 7, 9, 12, 13, and 17. If you look at the first page, those are the counts that you pled to, right?
Correct.
And they dropped, first of all, they dropped the greater of count 1, right? I mean, they made it a lesser crime.
What do you mean they?
Well, you and your attorney and the state shook hands and said, this is how we're going to resolve it.
No, honestly, I took a different plea before this, and I was pleading guilty to the child abuse resulting in death. Judge Brown wouldn't let me plead guilty to that charge. He said I did not commit that crime. That's why it was a lesser than the first count.
All right. But I think you'd agree with me that because of this plea agreement, they dropped the murder count against you, didn't they?
Correct.
They also dropped counts 3, 4, 5.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Hey, Ree. I'm going to call you Ree or Benjamin. Renee, is that it? I think she got 50 years, but has to serve 44. Fabian got 37 and a half, and Michelle got 12. Okay, they take a break. Looks like they get back right about here. Okay, here we go.
So part of the deal was that you weren't facing murder counts anymore, right?
Correct.
The alternatives and everything. And one of the biggest parts of the deal was that you were going to provide truthful statements and or truthful testimony.
So he's talking about her testimony now. The part of her plea agreement was that she was going to get some years off of her sentence for her testimony in Fabian's trial. And there's what they say, because my kids say it all the time. They say it's beans, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. And there's another one that goes like, riding in my Chevy and I feel something heavy. I'm not going to sing that one, though. My kids are always singing it. 22 years with good behavior, right? I hope not. Let's see. How do we ask this? I think it's just what in the world? No, I don't have mice in my house. It says that she was sentenced to 50 years in prison with 6 years suspended. Once she's released from prison, she'll be on probation for 5 years. In 2019, Kelly reached a plea agreement with prosecutors just before her trial was set to begin. As part of that plea deal, Kelly will testify in the case against Fabian Gonzalez and the case of State versus John Doe. Torres also revealed that given the unidentified male DNA found on Victoria, investigators were now searching for a mystery fourth suspect. Cell phone, right here it says cell phone data provided proof that neither was home at the time of Victoria's death as far as Martin's and Gonzalez. So I don't know if she'll get time off for good behavior considering the charge. She got 6 years suspended, so I do too, Anders, honestly. You love beans? I'm growing some beans. Yeah, there's that one. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel, so eat your beans in every meal. All right, we got to get back to the topic at hand. Kathy said, why did the mom give such a hideous, heart-wrenching testimony during her interrogation? Okay, we'll talk about that real quick. I haven't played it today. I get that question every day, so I'll show it to you real quick. Hold on. We're at 48:56. Let me show you. Hold on just a minute. Nope, not that one. It's this one. All right, here's your answer.
Fabian Gonzalez and Michelle Martins are no longer charged with the murder of 10-year-old Victoria Martins.
Where we're forced to consider the possibility that Michelle Martins had falsely incriminated herself and Fabian Gonzalez in this heinous act.
Target 7 looked through the transcripts of the interview Martins had with police after the girl's death, and we found some glaring contradictions.
The detective asks her, how did Victoria die? Do you know? Michelle responds by saying she tasted the meth that was on the table. Later in that same interview, an investigator asks again, how did they kill her, Michelle? How did they kill Victoria? This time, Michelle says by stabbing her. They ask her once more later, how did they kill your daughter? And she says by raping her. The investigators didn't understand that answer, and she says they covered her mouth. Even the police asking the questions admit they don't understand why Martins is admitting to horrible crimes. They told her, I guess sometimes I don't understand why you'll tell the truth on these big, huge things, but on little things you try to lie, and it makes no sense to me. Prosecutors hired a forensic psychiatrist named Dr. Michael Wellner, who said a combination of trauma, drug abuse, and suggestive questioning by police made Michelle Martins give them false statements.
She made admissions she felt were separating herself from the murder and the dismemberment, but in fact, she was placing herself there.
Have a good day, Cara. So it's a combination of low IQ, trauma, a lot of things, suggestive questioning by the police, all of those things added together is kind of what made basically an explosion happen, which was what she said during the interrogation. She did have a venereal disease. Did she ever tell Michelle she felt funny down there? I don't know. You're welcome, Kathy, anytime. I don't know. It's so hard because she references the one boyfriend trying to kiss her, and she says that she called CPS, and ironically, that's the one time that they don't come and do a damn thing about it. And she said that she took them to the doctor and had the doctor check them, and the doctor said nothing was wrong. But then we find out that not only was Victoria being sexually abused for an extended period of time, that she also had human papillomavirus, and that poor Matthew did too. Or not that, excuse me, hold on. Scratch that. Victoria had been sexually assaulted for an extended period of time, and she had human papillomavirus, and Matthew had been being sexually abused as well. But I don't think he had any diseases or anything. Yeah, it's in the autopsy report. I'm going to get that, and we're going to look at it tomorrow. We'll go over the autopsy tomorrow before we start testimony. I know Glitter is Forever had told me a couple of days ago she was going to send it to me, and I had forgotten to check. I forget. I am always like trying to do so many things at once. I've got honeysuckle jelly in there I've got to get made today. Yeah, I missed it, but we'll check it out tomorrow.
At any pretrial interview.
And I appreciate
trial.
that, Glitter.
So you agreed to testify in this case, didn't you?
I agreed to, yes.
And you wanted to, is what you're saying, is you wanted to have this opportunity to testify.
I wanted the opportunity for the truth to come out, so.
All right. And one of the parts of this, if you look at page 4, it talks about, it says potential incarceration. I think that's where it is.
Yeah, it is on page 4.
Okay. And the parties agreed that the counts you were pleading to were not serious violent offenses, right?
That's what it says, sir.
And that means that instead of having to do 85% of a charge that is violent, a non-violent charge, you can earn 50% good time, right?
Correct.
And so that's where you've calculated, I've got 17 years to go, right?
If I keep good behavior.
Right. If
Yeah, I don't know. Dainty Dane says, wait, HPV causes warts on the hands of kids. So is that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I just know that it said in per the autopsy report she had HPV. And we'll have to look at the autopsy report tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it hadn't progressed that far. Maybe she had just been, maybe that had just happened to her, like she had just gotten it. But it's really sad. Joy, I've thought about it. I've also got to make lotion today too, and I'm going to try to sell the lotion on my store. I thought about trying to sell the honeysuckle jelly, but I'm concerned about packaging and like mailing it out. And you have to be careful, especially with like baked goods and things like that, or like food items. I think it has to have like the specific weight and how much of each ingredient is in there, which my stuff is like organic as it could be. You can't. Anyway, I'm looking into it. I'll say that. There are over 200 strands. But I am going to try to. If I can, I'm going to try to. Because all of my stuff is organic or as close to natural as it can possibly be, so it would be really good. I love the honeysuckle jelly. I do sell it at the like the farmers market here.
if you get your good behavior time, you can be out in 17 years, right?
Right.
And by your calculation, you were looking at 200 years if you'd gone to trial and lost everything.
Correct.
So that was a pretty good deal, wasn't it?
It was a pretty good deal, but in all reality, they couldn't get me for a murder count because I didn't commit murder.
The unknown man did.
Yeah, no man did.
I'd move Exhibit A into evidence.
Any objection?
None other than the previously stated objections, Your Honor.
Appendix A will be admitted.
Your witness.
All right, we're on the rebuttal. Southern Cats, I tried to make pickles last year, and it did not work. Like, I've got to figure that out. I hope to make pickles this year. Hopefully, I can figure it out. The redirect or re-examine, where the prosecution basically comes behind what the defense did and tries to, like, basically give a reason for their questioning and things like that. Like, for instance, if he tripped her up on some of her stories, the prosecution is now going to come back and try to, like, bring up evidence and ask her questions that kind of explain why she answered a certain way for the defense. I think the biggest thing we got out of there is a lot of her stories don't add up or make sense, and that she is getting time off and credit for her testimony against Fabian. I think so too. Kathy said, I think you could probably have the virus without all the symptoms.
Long couple days.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm very emotional.
Oh, don't you start crying. Don't even. No, ma'am.
Tired?
I'm very,
Why are you tired?
I haven't been able to sleep or eat throughout this whole trial.
I'm going to go back over some of the questions that you were asked on the cross. So, When you were asked about being manipulative, or that you told Detective Lewis that you manipulate people in drug deals or in your language, are you manipulating the story that you've told to this jury over the past couple of days?
No. This is a different situation.
What's different about it?
I was a child, and I can't keep nothing. I can't hide the truth because that's just not in me.
Hey, Marcia, yes, all Fabian was actually convicted of was reckless child endangerment. Oh, I'm trying to play the StreamYard.
Let's go back to the first couple of days you were out of prison back in 2016. You were with your family, and you told us about meeting up with Lori Beck and doing something illegal. Can you
Yes.
tell me about that? In the 2 days, you also there was some testimony that you were doing pretty good in those first couple of days, seeing your family, all that. What changed between getting out on the 15th and meeting up with Lori on the 17th?
I got a text from Fabian,
Okay.
and
Without saying what's in that text, is that what changed? Is that the
that's what
thing?
changed. He was a trigger to my addiction, and I'm an addict of guilty. I was trying to stay clean and I couldn't.
When you first got out of custody and you got in touch with Fabian, who got in touch with who? Who contacted who?
He contacted me.
I just want to clarify something, and I'm not sure if it even needs to be clarified, but just so we're super clear, there's a few Amandas that we've talked about.
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday you were talking about, you were being questioned on cross about Amanda's kids wanting to come over to the apartment. Maybe it was one kid. Which Amanda were you talking about?
I was talking about my cousin Amanda.
Amanda Padilla?
Amanda Padilla.
Okay, the same one that had the barbecue for you?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, so we just, there's a few of them.
I'm sorry, can you not hear me scaly?
Okay, I will try. Is that better if I, okay. Let's talk about your feelings about police. How do you feel about police?
Practically they're my enemy.
Why?
They're untruthful. Every time I've ever had contact with them, it wasn't a good outcome. Usually when I see an officer, I get arrested and I'm taken from my family and taken from my freedom. So when I see them, I just want to run. I just want to get away. I just want to get out of the situation.
And you said on cross that you run even when you're not in the wrong. Why?
Yes.
Why when you're not in the wrong would you run?
It's an instinct, honestly. I haven't been treated very well by officers.
There was some discussion yesterday about chaos and TCK. In 2016, was TCK a tagging crew?
I believe they say it's a tagging crew, but from my knowledge, it's a gang. The gang is a gang. It doesn't matter tagging crew or not.
You said that when the defendant would yell out chaos or fake threats, chaos threats, that you didn't take them seriously. But would it be reasonable for someone else to maybe take those threats seriously?
Yes.
And Angelo took those threats seriously when he responded with a gun and 2 carloads of people, right?
Correct.
Objection, leading.
I'll withdraw.
Sustained. We'll strike that answer.
Leading the witness. Can't be doing that.
Let's talk about when you were visited. Let's talk about in general what you told people after this happened. So there were some questions about what you might have told your mom, what you might have told your friends that visited you, Caroline and Sheree, when they came to visit you in jail. Why didn't you just tell them everything?
Because I was ashamed.
You were restrained?
I was ashamed.
You were ashamed. What were you ashamed of?
Participating in the plea.
What just happened? Like right at the good part, we go blank. She's ashamed of participating in the cleanup. Wow, good job, news crew.
And along those same lines, when the police came and you walked up to them, why didn't you just tell them everything right away?
Honestly, I just got scared and ran. I didn't even think, honestly. I'm afraid of heights. I don't even know why I jumped. I don't, it's not logical to me. I still can't make sense of it.
When you jumped, you hurt yourself.
Yes.
Is this a careful jump?
Well, I tried to slide off, but I'm a big girl, and I was wearing, not too great of shoes, I was wearing slides, and I was afraid. I was so scared. I just stiffened up, and I crushed my ankle.
Her testimony, I mean, she's just like, so she started with tears and now she's just, oh, I was so scared of the police and I slid off the balcony. Like she's again a completely different person than she just was when the defense was questioning her. She even changes, like we've seen the drastic change from her from when she was in the hospital to this testimony now. And even in this testimony, you can see the drastic change from the prosecution questioning her opposed to the defense questioning her. It's crazy. Like she's a chameleon, in my opinion.
You were asked about Sheree, people asking you to babysit or trusting you with their children, and Sheree specifically, because you did look after her kids a little bit.
I did.
Would Sheree trust you to watch her kids if she knew you were high on meth and paranoid?
No. I wouldn't trust myself watching kids high and paranoid.
Why not?
Because I'm under the influence. Usually when I'm even under the influence, I don't even watch my own children.
You make sure that someone else is watching?
Yes.
Mom of the year over here is gonna make sure somebody else is watching the children if she's high on meth. Like, oh, I would not watch somebody else's children, my children, or Victoria if I was high on meth. Mom of the year over here.
We're having problems hearing you, Miss Young. I'm wondering if you move that lapel to the other side because it's angled away from you. Okay. Is that better? Maybe it's a little higher. How about that? Is that better? Okay.
Going back to that night, the defense asked you about how many people were outside when you saw Victoria playing alone. And he listed a number of people. Did you see, he stated there were kids on scooters. Aside from Victoria, did you see at all any kids on scooters that whole day?
No.
Did you see anyone outside? You said there were a couple neighbors talking or hanging out, but anyone around her, engaging with her, talking to her,
No.
watching her?
That's what made me see that nobody was watching her.
And when you looked outside when you said this man left the apartment after Victoria was murdered, did you see any of those neighbors, kids on scooters, people walking around? Was there anybody out?
No. That's why I said I see nothing out of the ordinary. I didn't see anybody.
So there were some questions, I think, both yesterday and today about the pink pajamas. So when you told Fabian what happened and he went into her room, before he went into her room, did she have some clothes on?
No.
She didn't.
No, she didn't have no clothes on.
When did her clothes come off?
He must have took them off when he went in there.
Who's he?
Fabian.
Okay. So before he went in the room, before Fabian went in, she had some clothes on.
Yes.
And do you remember which clothes those were?
I remember pink bottom pants and a pink top with like the arms, cut off shirt.
And then the defendant goes in, and the next time you saw her, she had no clothes on?
Yes.
When you went to dress her, you remember now which top?
It was like I believe like a Dora or something top. It was like a dark pink.
Do you remember a red shirt ever?
No. I thought it was pink.
You did put some shirts.
I did put some top on her.
Let's talk about your purses. May I approach the witness room? I'm going to hand you what's been marked for identification as states 145. Do you recognize that?
I believe that's Michelle's purse.
That's not your purse?
Oh, let me see. No, that is my purse.
Okay.
I think we're on 245.
We are on 245. I apologize. Let me change this to 245. Okay, this is your purse?
Yes.
And is this in Matthew's closet?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Your Honor, the state will move into evidence 245.
Any objection?
No objection.
245 will be admitted.
I'm going to, yeah, how much?
You may.
I'm going to show everyone what's been marked as states 245. So this was your, is this the brown purse you've been talking about?
Yes.
But you also had a blue and white bag that we've seen in some.
Yes, it's a purse, but the other purse I just used for my paperwork.
So you described this process of when the defendant and Michelle leave and you're frantically running around grabbing stuff.
Yes.
And in your mind, you put those things into this purse.
Yes.
Now, if the blue and white bag that we've seen in photos contained the things that you were grabbing, the CDs, the cigarettes, the phones, could you be mistaken about which bag you grabbed?
No.
You're not mistaken?
No, I'm not mistaken.
If we see, you testified that Fabian washed the knives, and the defense asked you about a previous statement where you said you washed the knives. Do you remember giving a pretrial interview in this case to all the parties over the Zoom?
Yes.
And do you remember being asked at that pretrial interview who washed the knives?
I'm not too sure.
Do you remember telling us that Fabian washed the knives at the pretrial interview?
No.
Do you remember now who washed the knives?
I know I didn't wash the knives.
Let's go back to you talking about getting the iron from the closet.
Okay.
So where were Fabian, the defendant, and Michelle when you retrieved that iron?
They were in the bedroom.
So tell us what's going on in your head when they're in the room. What do you think is going on in the room?
I'm thinking like, they're thinking like if this is a joke. And joke's on me, you know?
Explain that a little more. Explain what you...
Please, because how the hell is any of this a damn joke? Like, what the hell do you mean? We got like 10 minutes left of this testimony, and then that'll be it for the day. Oh, again, I'm trying to play it on StreamYard.
Did you think Michelle knew at that point?
At that point I did.
How would she have known?
Fabian told her, maybe that's why she was staying awake in the room waiting for him to go in and out.
And so tell me what you mean by you're thinking it's a joke. Like,
I felt like I was being set up to commit this crime. Well, not commit the crime, but to be in this situation. And they were just laughing because I was panicking and I was participating.
and you're still under the influence at this point?
Yes.
But is this at the time when you're starting to crash?
Crash, yes.
So are you in your right mind?
No. At this whole time, I'm not in my right state of mind.
Because this seems, you testified about, you just decided you were going to just kill them.
Yes.
And that seems like it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Honestly, I couldn't even do it.
What do you mean you couldn't do it?
I could not kill them. As I tried to attempt to, I just couldn't do it because in all reality, if I wanted to kill them, why didn't I just grab the knife that was used on Victoria and just kill them with that knife instead of try to hit her, let him run? It doesn't make sense. If I was killing and on a killing spree, why wouldn't I have just done it? Why wouldn't I have just killed them all? But I didn't have it in me to do it.
And so when the iron got pulled away, what's left in you? What happened?
At first I had a little bit of adrenaline from fighting, and I just got so tired. I couldn't fight no more. I couldn't do anything no more. I just couldn't do nothing. I couldn't fight no more, and I couldn't think straight.
Well,
And is that when you
I mean, could that be because of the methamphetamine? And again, if you're going to jail, you're going to go to jail for something you did. But I'm not. You'll never convince me that she didn't partake in the homicide of Victoria. And even to this day, she is lying on the stand about what she did to that child, in my opinion. Her and somebody that she fucking knows. Excuse my language.
let her go?
Yes, I just let her go, and I just pretty much started panicking.
Did you ever walk into the master bedroom with the iron?
I could have, but I don't remember doing that. I remember leaving it on the table.
And where was the first place you hit her was where?
As she was coming out of her bedroom.
So moving on to something else that I think seems confusing is the decision you made to carry Victoria downstairs in front of people. What were you thinking when you did that?
I wasn't really thinking. I just thought if I got her and got away, everything would be better. But then I started panicking as I started walking down, and she got too heavy, and I didn't want to make too big of a scene, and I didn't want to be noticed, so I decided to walk back inside and put her in the room.
Is that also a decision that you might have made differently if you weren't on meth?
Yes. If I wasn't on meth, I probably would have called for help. But being that I was under the influence and that threat, I felt like the threat was valid. I was so afraid. And honestly, at that point, I didn't even know if Michelle and Fabian were already dead. That's why I sat there and I waited.
I believe that if this meth wasn't involved, that this homicide might not have been committed. And yeah, her walking down the steps with a deceased child in her hand is definitely a decision made under the influence. But she decided to be under the influence. So at the end of the day, regardless, you're still at fault, in my opinion.
And the defendant were discussing and agreeing to clean up and deal with the situation, and you talked about taking Victoria down a road. Is this property just open space property?
Well, it's open space property. It's, there's no houses or anything. And I know that they find bodies up there all the time, so I thought it was a good idea at the time. At the time, I thought, oh, that was a good idea. I was doing everything that I should have been doing. But now that I look back, that whole night wasn't a good idea.
No shit.
I agree with you that this was a good spot.
Yes.
Did he know what spot you were talking about?
Yes,
And he was on board with this plan?
yes.
That's a good point, Glitter. Glitter said, I think this murder is an effect of her SA acceleration. Because if you think of the two other charges that we know of, it seemed to get worse and worse, and now this is the ultimate. And that's a good point. Um, because first it was sexual contact with a minor, then it was penetration with the cellmate, where she watched her be assaulted with a freaking broom or mop handle or something, and then so it's gradually getting worse, actually drastically getting worse. First is sexual contact, then it's penetration, and then you got the whole homicide. Kathleen said, meth is bad. My ex was on meth and he tried to unalive me twice. Oh my God, sweetheart. I'm so glad you made it out. That is crazy. Yeah, it's very dangerous. I've been around people who were on it as well back in when I was living a horrific life. I don't know. I never understood it. I never understood why you would want to do something and just like stare out a window or be paranoid as fuck and worried that like the cops were going to roll up. Like she said, just geeking out in the window and scared to damn death. Like, what enjoyment do you get out of that? I did opiates and I did it because it made all of my mental pain, physical pain, everything stop hurting, and it gave me energy to clean. Like I wasn't paranoid. I wasn't scared of anything, or so. And then it got worse over time, which is the problem. But I never understood those things. I wish they could find out. Surely it's been put in CODIS. You would think, Dainty, you would think by this time they would have a damn answer to who this unknown male DNA is, but I don't know, man. My son's dad, he got on that. I had to leave the whole state to get away from him because he just lost it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, y'all. It's a horrific drug. I swear it's the devil incarnate.
That night when the defendant came home and the agreement was he would distract Michelle for a while and get her to bed, at any point from the time he arrived home through the end of this, did he ingest more methamphetamine?
I don't know. I actually didn't have the pipe on me.
Earlier in the day, when you threw it in the trash, he got it out of the trash?
Yes.
Where did he have it the rest of the day?
I believe he had the drugs on him and the pipe in the bathroom.
So he kept those on him until when?
Until later on that night, until I told him, just get back to me, I think I'm going to need them back.
Was that after Victoria was dead?
Yes.
There were a lot of questions about you thinking that this man could have been Victoria's father. Do you remember, and you had said something along those lines, you thought he was very familiar, you thought he could have been Victoria's father, and you talked about that in your pre-trial interview.
Yes.
Do you remember giving other examples of who you thought this person might be, aside from just her father?
Yes, I believe I said maybe a family friend, somebody close, somebody that was familiar with the house, because he was familiar with the house. He seemed like he belonged there, you know? And in my sense, I just barely showed up like 2 or 3 days before that, and I'm staying on the couch at Michelle's apartment. She's a stranger to me. Michelle's children are a stranger to me. I've never met them in my life. And it's not like when I was staying there, like we kicked it tough or anything like that, because it was just come and go, come and go, come and go, you know? So I really didn't know. And I know like when her mom would come, we would stay inside. I remember the first day that we went over there when Michelle went to go, I believe, cash her check. We stayed in the bathroom. Like, because we didn't want to be seen by her mom.
By whose mom?
Michelle's mom.
So you hid from Michelle's mom?
Yes.
Did she ask you to do that?
No, I believe Fabian just said, here, come in here, cuz.
Do you know why you were hiding from her mom?
Because we were under the influence.
The I'm going to show you what's been admitted as States 24, these towels in the washing machine. And actually,
I'm glad you made it, Queen Olive. Y'all should go get you a bite.
24 and then also 26.
So since you have time to kill, y'all should go get you a bite to eat or something.
So, do you recognize this washer and dryer?
Yes, those are, the blankets that I washed earlier that day.
When you say those, are you talking about what's in 26?
Yes, the little boys,
Little boy sheets,
yes.
blankets?
Hey, Sam.
So what's in the washer, do you know how Victoria's blood would have gotten on these towels?
Maybe from the washcloth that I was cleaning up, the blood with.
So these wouldn't have been from earlier in the day. That was,
Only if it was like absolutely drenched in blood. Otherwise, you would have had to be using the towel like directly on the blood.
these blankets.
Yes, but I remember I did wash towels, but I don't know if I threw the washcloth back in there after I was cleaning up and maybe started the washer. I don't remember actually what I did with it, because as you can see in the other pictures, it looked like I just left a bowl with bloody water. I don't know.
When all of this cleanup is happening and the washer's maybe getting started and there's a bowl in the sink and the knives are being cleaned, is Fabian aware of all this?
Yes. And if,
Was this part of the plan
to clean up, yes.
Right, Joy.
Let's go back a little bit to, you were asked a number of questions about a call you received from your sister, Crystal, when you were out on the 20th. Do you remember
Yes.
that call? Where were you when you took that call?
I was in Michelle's room.
Do you remember another call when you were out with Fabian? on the
Yes,
20th?
yes.
Your Honor, the state would look into evidence. The audio from that call states 246.
No objection.
246 will be admitted.
May I publish? So the 20th, just to remind us, that's the day that you went to your son's game?
I believe so.
And we heard a voicemail from the defendant earlier
Yes.
from that day. So there was a time when you were off doing stuff, kid stuff, got a voicemail from the defendant, and then you meet up later?
Yes.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay, so they approach and take an extremely long time. Oh my gosh. Oh, I was like, what happened? So let's go to, I want to see what, like, if it's just a short, because I know the next one's only like 50 minutes, and I'm wondering how much of that is Jessica's testimony. Let's see. Oh my goodness. We stay looking at the ceiling the whole time? Except for what, 15 minutes? Let's see, about 48. We're at 35. Yeah, we got like 12 minutes. So we'll go ahead and watch this for the next. We'll go ahead and watch the last 12 minutes of this. And then that way, when we start, we'll be on the next day. Okay. Because it's only about 12 minutes.
Okay, we were talking a little bit about a call that you received from your sister. What's your sister's name?
Crystal Kelly.
A call that you received from your sister Crystal when.
So they're talking about that call in jail. Barbie said, sorry, I had to leave for a moment. I will have to watch again. Did they mention why they all seem to be showered and clean? No, but she does mention them taking showers and then washing the towels.
You, on the 20th, when you were out.
And I don't have captions.
With the defendant. You remember that call?
Yes.
I'm going to play a portion of that call for you.
We discussed this call and I told you what they were saying before, so I'm not going to do that again. Hopefully we can understand it with her foul mouth and
This is a free call from
shit.
an inmate at CCA, New Mexico Women's Correctional Facility. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, press 2. If you would like to thank you for using...
It's on the TV too, in the background, right here. Okay, wait a minute. This is a different call. So, hold on. Let me tell you what they're saying. Because they're talking about the car and going to that Pee Wee shop that we looked up and saw the obituary for. So I'm going to tell you what they said.
To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, press 2. If you would like to thank you for using Security, you may start the conversation now.
So my van fucked up, the shop's gone. Jessica said, your van's fucked up. Fabian says chopped up all the way. Jessica says chopped up. Fabian says in pieces. Jessica said in pieces in the back of the shop. Fabian says swear to God. Jessica Kelly says, well, have you talked to Pee Wee? Fabian and Jessica said we went there. Martine don't even want anything to do with him. Okay, Crystal, I went over there to go talk to him. Fuck, and he goes, Jess, I'm glad you're out. I need your help. Oh, so okay, so she says I went over there to go talk to him, to go talk to Kiwi, and he goes, Jess, I'm glad you're out. I need your help. Fabian and Jessica said, so quick. All right, what's up? Fabian Gonzalez says something. Jessica says he has bad people there. Crystal Kelly says, where's all my shit at? Jessica says he has it. Fabian said, but your van's gone. Jessica says your van's gone. He says he has it, Crystal. But the van's gone. It's in pieces. It's in pieces. Fabian and Jessica both are saying it's in pieces. Hey, Horse. Horse Lover said Jessica is such an awful person. Everything from her mouth is vomit. I agree. Crystal's saying, well, he was going to give me one of his trucks when I get out. I don't give a fuck. He's going to give me one of the trucks when I get out. I don't give a fuck. Jessica says, well, I'm telling you know what it is. He's moving the shop, okay? Everybody left him, like,
Well, I'm letting you know what it is. He's losing the shop, okay? Everybody left him, like, you just...
His clients, Fabian says his clients are something. Jessica says his client, okay, I went to go take 2 cars back yesterday for him because...
His client, okay, I went to go take 2 cars back for him because, okay?
Okay, I had to go take them, but I never did it before. I had something take them. I went and took it to the dealership for him.
I have to take him, and I never did it before.
I had to go take them, and I never did it before, and I went and took it to the dealership for him.
I went and took it to the dealership for him,
And the cars were fucked, okay? I don't know. You mean, he said, just take these for me, please, and bring me my, probably money.
the cars were fucked up, okay? I don't know. I know, you said just take these for me, please, and bring me, I'll make it right.
I was like, all right, Pee-wee, I'll do that for you. Well, I walked back something, fuck no, I ain't dealing with you guys no more. I walked back and he's like, fuck no, I ain't dealing with you guys no more. Look at all this. And thank God for Martine being working over there at Freedom.
And thank God for Martine being working over there at Freedom.
He gave me a ride back and I let him know, yeah, I told him. Crystal says, what number?
Right back, and I let him know. And yeah, I told him right up and up down there. I have it, but
Jessica says, I have it, but Fabian says, that's worse something. Jessica Kelly said, yeah, he's doing bad, okay?
he's doing bad, okay? You have a girl there?
Crystal Kelly says he has a girl there. He has people living there, people he don't even know.
You have people living there, people you don't even know.
Fabian says, I don't know what it's about. We're going to try.
Martine's done with it.
And Martine's done with him, dude, says Jessica. Crystal says, Martine was done with him before he got locked up, Jess. That's like, Fabian says, yeah, but Martine said. Jessica says, but Martine's upset, dude. Crystal said, hey, okay, what his number? I'm going to try and see if he'll talk to me.
What's his number? I'm going to try and see if he'll talk to me. Okay.
Jessica said, okay, don't let him know nothing, okay? Crystal says, I won't.
Don't let him know nothing, okay? Don't let him know nothing, okay?
Fabian says something that we can't understand. Jessica says, don't let him know nothing, okay? Because Crystal says, okay, Jess, something. Jessica Kelly says, because she's the one that told me what happened to your shit, okay? Pee-wee saying he has it. Martine came by last night and told me personally.
Pee-wee saying he has it. Martine came by last night and told me personally. Okay?
Crystal says, okay. Jessica Kelly says, okay. Crystal Kelly says, okay. It's Crystal is Jessica's sister. Martine and Michelle are not the same person, no. Martine, I do believe, is the one that came and bumped uglies with Jessica on the couch. Michelle is Victoria's mother, who's supposedly oblivious to all the abuse that poor child was enduring.
He came to me because
Jessica said he came to me because of the shop issue.
of the shop issue. Well, tell Martine.
Crystal says, well, tell Martine he needs to try to get over there and get my shit. Do, like, my social, Jessica, my ID.
Trying to get over there and get my shit, do like my social, Jessica, my
Jessica says, it's lost. It's God, dude. It's God. You haven't got squat. Fabian says, the van's in pieces. Jessica says, okay, 850-9206. Crystal says, that's still the same number. Jessica says, mm-hmm. Baby, it says, well, then that's why he's not answering, because we are telling you the truth, cousin. Crystal said, oh my God, what are you doing, Faba baby? Faba baby?
Oh my God, what are you doing, baby?
Faby baby. Fabian said, I freaked out. He's skinnier than me. Jessica said, he's skinnier than you?
He's skinnier than me.
Fabian said, I swear to God, on my Hita and my life. Jessica Kelly said, he don't look like him. Crystal said, oh my God. Jessica said, yeah. Fabian said, it's fucking nuts. They're sabotaging him, Crystal, says Fabian. Crystal said, what the fuck does he have all those fuckers over there for?
Why the fuck does he have all those fuckers over there?
Why does he have them over there? Jessica said, well, I don't know, but they're helping him do it. Fucking housekeeper.
Well, I don't know. Well, they're helping him do it. Where are you guys at now?
Crystal said, where you guys at now? Jessica said, my home girl. I rented a home from her.
My home girl, I rented a room from her.
Crystal said, okay, well, I borrowed a call from Sancha real quick to call you to see what's going on.
Okay, well, I borrowed a call from Sancha real quick to call you to see what's going on.
Captain Picard, I don't know if I can.
She needs you to go pick up some money orders.
But she needs you to go pick up some money orders and stuff, Jessica.
Jessica, I need you to call
And I need you to call Javier for me and have him put some money cause I'm on restriction and I need the money. They're like,
Javier for me and have them put some money into because I'm on restriction and I need the money. They're like,
well, we already did. We put it on your books.
we put it on your book.
Fuck. I can't use it on my books. Well, Crystal. Crystal says, I get drunk. I something. The other speaker says, like, okay, well, that's your fault, dude. That's your fault. Crystal said, hey, right after you left Jessica the next day, I think it's Jessica, and if she can tell her sister on the phone, excuse me, that it's her fault that she can't get the money on her books because she got drunk. Like, that's your fault. You got in trouble for an action that you did. Why can't she take accountability for the actions that she committed? Because she's making her sister take accountability right there. You got drunk, therefore can't have money on your books, but we can't take accountability for what happened to Victoria. Jessica says, well, the other day I got the message you put the money on, dude. Crystal Kelly said, how much did you put on there? Jessica said, close to 40. Got it? Other speakers said, yeah. Crystal says, fuck.
Close to 40.
The other speaker says, but I got a job. Crystal said, I know, I heard at my old work. The person says, yep.
I know, I heard it in my own words. Yep.
Crystal says, yeah. Here's your, Jessica Kelly says, yeah.
Here's your Sansa real quick.
Here's your Sancha real quick. You can't three-way him, huh? Because he'll know it's you.
You can't three-way him, huh? Because you know it's you.
He ain't answering. He's not answering for me, Crystal, said Jessica.
Answering for me, Crystal. So I'm gonna go buy it, stuff like whatever, just to see if I can get.
She says, so I was going to go buy it, just act like whatever, just to see if I could get at least your stuff because of the situation.
At least your stuff, because of the situation,
But it's closed down. Those fuckers, I'm like, oh no, some girl keeps coming down. Her name's Crystal.
he is closed down. The widow's like, oh no, some girl keeps coming out, her name's Crystal.
She's a secretary, I guess, and I don't know. Crystal Kelly says, well, what did she say?
She's a secretary, I guess, and I don't know. What is it?
So what are we supposed to get from that? I guess.
Miss Kelly, do you remember that call?
Yes.
So it seems like you and your sister and Fabian, just by listening to that, are pretty close.
Yeah.
How would you describe your relationship back in 2016 between you and the defendant?
Very close.
You were hanging out how often?
We were inseparable.
Now, you'd only been out a little while. Did the time that you were in prison and not really talking a lot, did that really affect your relationship?
No.
She's got low IQ, horse lover, I do believe.
2022. It's been almost 6 years since this happened. You talked on direct, and I think maybe even a little bit yesterday on class about trying to block this whole thing out.
Yes.
And do you think you have every detail of everything perfect sitting here in 2022?
No.
Are you telling this jury, to the best of your ability, things you remember?
Yes.
Let's talk about your plea. The defendant went through it with you, talked about what you originally faced, what you ended up pleading to, number of years you're going to do. Is there anything about the number of years that you're going to serve that changes depending on this trial whatsoever?
Horse lover said Sancha or Sancho means my secret lover I'm cheating with. I had no idea. I think that's a nickname of a girl that she's with, like another girl that's locked up or somebody that they know. That's their nickname. But that's interesting. And I'm sorry, meth and fentanyl and all of the things, it is a crisis, right? A crisis. And I wish it would stop. Hey, Stolen Spirits. Good to see you, love. Stolen Spirits said, yep, Sancha means side chick. Did they? Where did you see that Jessica and Fabian had relations openly around Michelle and including Victoria the child? I would love to know where you saw that. I don't remember seeing that. But I do agree that they're just nasty people.
Can you rephrase that?
Sure. Is your testimony here going to change your plea?
I don't think so.
Are you testifying here today to get some extra deal?
No.
Have you been promised anything outside of the plea agreement that you made back in 2019?
No.
in your debrief with the detective, and yesterday you said it was a confession. When you say a confession, what did you mean? By when you talked to Detective Lewis, says the first time I gave the full confession. Can you explain?
It wasn't a confession, it was a castigard, but to me, it was a confession to the state.
And what did you confess to?
Everything that I participated in and everything that I remember that happened from the time I got out of prison to the time I got arrested.
So you didn't mean that you were admitting to killing Victoria. Is that what you meant?
Yes.
You did not mean that.
No.
She might not have admitted to killing Victoria, but she was the only one there, per the damn cell phone records.
We have one more here. You may.
I said yeet again. This mouse is so touchy. Touchy. What are we doing here?
One more question about that plea agreement. Have you already been sentenced in your case?
Yes.
Let's go back a little bit to the night of the homicide, or the day of the homicide. You had methamphetamine that was shared with the defendant.
Yes.
And there were some questions on cross about if that methamphetamine could have been spiked or had something added to it or laced with something else. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you have any actual knowledge that happened?
No.
And was the methamphetamine that you took that day the same methamphetamine that the defendant took that day?
Yes.
And you remember testifying that you put it in your mouth when you went to the hospital?
Yes.
And so you ingested some more
After.
that morning?
Yes.
The 24th. And was yesterday the first time you ever said that?
I'm not too sure.
Do you remember giving a pretrial interview in this case?
Yes.
Do you remember talking about it back in your pretrial interview where everyone was present?
I believe so. I believe I told you guys that I had it in my bra and I put it in my mouth. And I don't know what happened to it after I got to the hospital.
Aside from those questions?
She admitted to putting it in her mouth, though, and ingesting more.
So ladies and gentlemen, we have some general paperwork to do that I hate for you to just sit around for, so we're gonna break for an early lunch, so that you're not just sitting here waiting for us to get that done. So it's about 11:30 right now. I'm gonna give you a little bit extra time so that we can get this stuff done, and bring you back.
Okay, so that's it for that one. I am going to have to go for the day, but we'll see what's next. Where is it? Where is it? Next one is like 4 hours, and she's still on the stand. Oh, but she's only on the stand for what, 20 minutes? So we'll watch her on the stand for 20 minutes, And I'll work on finding Michelle's testimony too. They had a lot of people come in for this. Y'all will have to let me know if you want to see some of the other people who testified. Like, I'm sure the neighbor testified and people who know them. I wonder what Jessica's friends would say about her. That would be interesting. Lori says, I watched a ton of trials in my years, all the way back to Eileen. This woman is pure evil. She absolutely is. Dainty said, try not to think of them as COVID masks, but better yet, horse feeders attached around the eyes in her case, a donkey, no doubt. In Michelle's interview 2, I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure Michelle describes all of the time alone they slept together with and without the child, Victoria. Yeah, we, hold on, let me show you. Have you seen where they talk about her testimony was a lie? I'll show you that real quick. Hold on just a minute, and we'll go after that. Okay, let me pull it up. All right, so this kind of explains a little bit of what happened with Michelle's testimony, or Michelle's interrogation videos.
Fabian Gonzalez and Michelle Martins are no longer charged with the murder of 10-year-old Victoria Martins.
We were forced to consider the possibility that Michelle Martins had falsely incriminated herself and Fabian Gonzalez in this heinous act.
Target 7 looked through the transcripts of the interview Martins had with police after the girl's death. And we found some glaring contradictions.
The detective asks her, how did Victoria die? Do you know? Michelle responds by saying she tasted the meth that was on the table. Later in that same interview, an investigator asks again, how did they kill her, Michelle? How did they kill Victoria? This time, Michelle says by stabbing her. They ask her once more later, how did they kill your daughter? And she says by raping her. The investigators didn't understand that answer, and she says they covered her mouth. Even the police asking the questions admit they don't understand why Martins is admitting to horrible crimes. They told her, I guess sometimes I don't understand why you'll tell the truth on these big, huge things, but on little things you try to lie, and it makes no sense to me. Prosecutors hired a forensic psychiatrist named Dr. Michael Wellner, who said a combination of trauma, drug abuse, and suggestive questioning by police made Michelle Martins give them false statements.
She made admissions she felt were separating herself from the murder and the dismemberment, but in fact, she was placing herself there.
I was muted, sorry. So basically, her interrogation was bullshit. But what is the truth, right? Like, because we know this child had been SA'd. She had HPV. The boy had been disA'd. Who did it? What is the truth? That's what I want to know. Abella said, when does meth come in? Was it just on the table like breadcrumbs? Evidently, there was a bag of meth somewhere. Jessica says that Fabian had it in Michelle's bathroom where he was smoking. And we've seen the layout from the apartment. There was a bathroom in Michelle's room. So that could be the case. Michelle says it was on the table. I have no idea. Yeah, there is a lot of misconduct on the investigator's part. That's why I'm concerned. Like, even though I'm FOIA-ing this information, I don't know that I'll get it. Hey, Abraham, we're about to roll out for the day, but it's good to see you, love. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and watching this trial with me because I'm interested to know. Hold on. What Jessica said and if we can get any idea of what the actual truth is. So tomorrow it looks like we're going to be finishing up Jessica's testimony. There's about 20 minutes of it. And then I'm going to look for Michelle's testimony tonight and I'll kind of skim through and see if there's any important testimony that gives us another idea. So and we're going to talk about the autopsy too. So tomorrow we'll probably be finishing this case up. I've still got some more audios to put out, so we might go over them at some point. I don't know. We'll see. We're coming to the end of this case, so I'll be working on that. Thank you, Stolen. Thank you guys for being here. You just read that they tested 16 people's DNA? Interesting. Oh no. Well, it was good to see you, love, and we'll be back tomorrow. I'm sorry I missed you today, sweetheart. Thank you guys for being here. Yes, love to everybody. Y'all are so sweet. I love y'all so much. I love our speculating family. Y'all are so amazing. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And for all the support and love and kindness you guys show each and every day. If nobody has told you, you are important, you are special, and you are loved, and you are enough. I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.